the substitute with FanDuel's Super Sub. Say it with me again. FanDuel's Super Sub. So you're in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and get started now. FanDuel.com/Paul. That's Paul with a capital P. FanDuel's Super Sub. Just another reason to dig in with FanDuel. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
What makes our team special? We don't have a 120-point guy. We don't have, I don't think we had a guy in the top 20 in points. We didn't have an all-star. We didn't have, you go down the list, there's nothing, right? But guess what we have is we got a team. And hockey is the greatest team sport going because you rely on everyone. And, there's no knock on any other sport. I'd say football is probably the next closest thing because the best players in football don't play the whole game. They're playing half. Hockey, the best players are playing a third of the game. And so you need everybody if you want to win in hockey.
That is the Stanley Cup winning player, the Stanley Cup winning head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rob Brind'Amour, whom, by the way, did not get elected into the Hockey Hall of Fame yesterday.
He did not.
Did not. Which... Look, there's so many things I can say that's already been said already, but I'm just going to sum it up like this. It's stupid that he's still not in it. Plain and simple. It's stupid that he's still not in it. Maybe next year. I don't know. But it's stupid that he isn't already in. It's stupid that he wasn't elected yesterday. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. We will talk some hockey a little bit later on. Believe it or not, Victoria, 1 month from today.
Yeah.
July 23rd, the Carolina Panthers have their first training camp practice.
Man.
1 month from today.
That's nuts.
I know.
But since we had an extended hockey season, it's even shorter.
I know.
Summer protocols.
Well, here's the thing. The offseason got real fast for Carolina because guess what's later on this week, Friday, Saturday? It's the NHL draft, which there are a lot of players that are getting traded, a lot of potential moves that can trade involving picks in this year's draft, which you never know. Carolina might be involved. They have their first-round pick this year. They have all their picks for the next few years, but they don't have much in terms of draft capital this year. But do they make a move? Are they part of another 3-team deal, 4-team deal? You never know what's going to happen. And free agency is July 1st.
Yep.
Which is Wednesday next week. It's when free agency begins.
It's crazy.
So there's a lot. Hey, we went for the parade on Saturday. Now you're right into it. So yeah, that's the you're a victim of your own success, Victoria, as I like to say.
Yeah.
Victim of your own success. And I'd do it again.
Oh yeah. 100 times.
Do it again. By the way, real quick fun note from I know you and Tim Donnelly sat in for Adam Gold yesterday. Victoria Vodenecker producing the show again. So I know you guys talked about the parade and stuff, the Canes celebration on Saturday. My favorite moment, I know you guys played some sound bites and stuff yesterday, but I would say my favorite moment, probably because I was working the parade, I was going up and down the parade out and doing some different things. And when the end of the parade, the tail end of the parade, was passing through Hillsborough Street in downtown Raleigh, then turned down Salisbury Street, Morgan Street, down Fayetteville Street, right in the heart of downtown, is that as soon as that last vehicle passed, everyone just started walking in the street with it. So I said, I'm going to jump in on this. And we were on air on Saturday for it, and I even called in as I was walking with that crowd. And it felt like we were part of the parade because I think that's the thing about it was that I felt part of it. The fans, you could tell they felt part of it. And it's just a testament to the fan base here because Southern hockey, it's going to get picked on and all that kind of stuff, whatever. I don't care. Fine. Find a more passionate fan base. Or find a fan base that's doing this right now. Yeah. In a non-traditional market. Cool, Montreal, what are you doing? Toronto, gosh, when's the last time y'all did anything? I don't care. Y'all just whine and complain. I'm not saying that Canes fans haven't, but we got to celebrate it, and the community showed up. And not just in Raleigh, not just in the state. I actually ran into a buddy of mine I play hockey with who's doing some workout in Jackson, Wyoming right now. I ran into him during the parade. He flew in from Wyoming just for the parade.
Oh, nice.
He flew in.
Wow.
Just for the parade from Jackson, Wyoming.
That's not close.
It's not. I saw him. I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, I thought you were in Wyoming. He's like, man, I bought a ticket. I had to be here. So people showed up from all over the place. I know the estimate now is 180,000 people. We're in downtown Raleigh. That's just amazing. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. But Carolina Hurricanes got to shift their focus. The NBA draft is tonight, Victoria.
I know.
And the NBA decided to, hey, you know what? NHL, you guys want to do the Brady Tkachuk trade from Ottawa to Florida? 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick? Hold my beer. Let's get this thing started.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started.
Before we get into the NBA, last night real quick, UNC baseball lost the decisive Game 3 of the College World Series.
Yeah.
13-2.
Not good.
To me, I think one of the biggest points early in the game was, I think it was, remember correctly, it was the bottom of the third inning, and Carolina was down 2-0. They had runners on first and second, 2 outs, and there was a hit to right field. The guy from second rounds third and is about to score, but the runner on first, even though his head coach who was on third base was telling him, stop there at second, he ran to third anyway, got thrown out at third base before the run crossed. So the inning ends, the score stays 2-0, as opposed to first and second, still 2 outs, now it's a 2-1 game. Mm-hmm. And you can build something from there. I thought that was such a pivotal moment early in the game. But it was a rough night overall for the Heels. It's the downside of losing that first game, because you have to do everything you can to win the second game, and I think it taxed their bullpen. And I think it was just a rough night as a whole for Carolina. And Gavin Gallagher, who's UNC's captain, was pretty emotional talking about how special the UNC program is and the staff.
Sorry. Yeah, the coaching staff, they're amazing. That's that's all I can say about them. If you're a player and you're looking for a place that's gonna care for you and they're gonna love you, they're gonna put you as a person before they put you as a player. They're gonna show up every day and they're gonna give you their best, no matter what their lives off the field look like. It's something that I look around at guys that I know at other schools and they don't have the same experience. So, it's truly amazing. It's truly amazing.
UNC is a tremendous team. Like, no one's going to say that they're not. I know that they lost yesterday. I'll sit there and say that they're a great team.
Yeah, they made it that far.
They got that far. Like,
yeah.
You literally got down to a Game 3, like a decisive game, and It just didn't go your way that day.
Yeah.
It sucks. I was rooting for them because just being here in the state of North Carolina, I want the teams in the state and schools in the state of North Carolina to win.
Same.
I have no affiliation with the University of North Carolina.
No.
The only affiliation I have to really any school in this state is my fiance went to Davidson, so shout outs to the Wildcats. That's it. That's the only affiliation I have with any school here in the state.
We just want our teams to be successful.
I want them to win.
Yeah.
I do. I genuinely want them to win. When NC State was in the College World Series a couple years ago, I was rooting hard for them. I was, because I wanted the teams in our state to win. When Wake Forest was there, rooting hard for the Demon Deacons. So it's tough if you're a UNC fan. It's tough if you're a UNC player. You're still a tremendous team. Unfortunately, you don't have the hardware to show for it. Because that's what's going to be ultimately remembered, is that. All right, next up. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vonecker producing the show. As always, the NBA draft is tonight. Round 1 tonight, round 2 tomorrow. Talk about things coming quickly.
I know.
Now, the question is, will anyone else get traded before the draft starts tonight? Because, believe it or not, the Charlotte Hornets are picking both 14 and 18. There's rumors that they could potentially move one or both those picks to maybe acquire a current player or move up slightly in the draft or down slightly. There's Miles Bridges might be part of a trade. There's also a question is okay, what's going to happen with Kobe White because he's about to enter free agency? So there are a lot of questions involving the Charlotte Hornets tonight. Again, they pick 14 and 18. And what's described, and by all the analysts and stuff, is that this is a really, really deep draft class. The 2026 draft class is a deep draft class. Now, we're going to see guys from the state of North Carolina, or from schools of the state of North Carolina. In the top 5, you'll see Caleb Wilson. He's projected right now to be the 4th overall pick out of UNC. Cameron Boozer, projected to be the 3rd overall pick out of Duke. There's also Isaiah Evans. You have Henry Vasar. Isaiah Evans of Duke, probably picked in the early mid-20s. Vasar, similar type deal, somewhere in the 20s is what's projected right now. You never know what's going to happen. But as we know with the NBA draft all the time, is that, all right, this player was picked by this team, but then the rights get traded to another team, then to another team, then to another team. NBA trades are kind of crazy in that regard. But that's not even the biggest NBA news is the draft tonight, Victoria. We had 2 major decisions happen yesterday in the NBA.
Huge.
Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, along with Bobby Portis, getting traded to the Miami Heat, like Tyler Hero, a couple other players, a bunch of first-round picks, some pick swaps, a second. It just pretty big blockbuster trade. Also, the NBA was like, again, hold my beer.
And another thing.
And another one. The Dallas Mavericks are set to hire Michigan head coach Dusty May, fresh off winning a national title. He's leaving the Wolverines to go to the Dallas Mavericks, who has last year's 1st overall pick in Cooper Flagg out of Duke. The last time a national championship winning coach, the year after, like the offseason after winning a national championship, went to the NBA was 1988. Was 2 years old, Victoria. From 1988, when Larry Brown went to the Spurs, left Kansas to go to the Spurs. I'm less intrigued about Dusty May than I am about Duke head basketball coach Jon Scheyer. And the reason why I say that, Victoria, is because Shams Charania of ESPN, on with Pat McAfee yesterday, said the Mavericks were going after 2 high-profiled college coaches.
But there were 2 people that Masai Ujiri and the Mavericks pursued over the last few weeks very aggressively. One was Jon Scheyer at Duke. They went after him. I'm told the sides had a meeting as well. And Dusty May. And so the Mavericks had to figure out which direction they want to go, which coach they want to lead Cooper Flagg and potentially Kyrie Irving being on this team next season and beyond. This is a long-term opportunity. Dusty May, we know the changes in college basketball, but you think about that and you think about the opportunity to coach Cooper Flagg. And my understanding is Dusty May always felt whether it was going to be this offseason, next offseason, in the years to come, he was going to make the jump to the NBA. Eventually, Jon Scheyer is going to make a jump from all accounts to the NBA. He's just got that build to him, that mold to him, same as Dusty May.
Interesting to hear that even though Jon Scheyer didn't get the Mavericks job, he could get the chance to coach Cooper Flagg again. He has a relationship with Derek Lively, who played at Duke, and there's Kyrie Irving and all. There are actually quite a few Duke guys on the Dallas Mavericks. But the fact that it's Dusty May, again, that doesn't intrigue me as much as what Shams Charania said about the potential future of Jon Scheyer and what that can mean for Duke basketball. Now, real quick, Adam Schefter of ESPN, who we all know is an NBA guy, discussed one of the reasons why that Dusty May took the Dallas Mavericks job and how that involves a former Duke player.
The idea of coaching Cooper Flagg, I think, was so alluring to Dusty, and everything they said, and Masai Ujiri, everything like that, and the money, then I just feel like he was put into a position where it became harder and harder to say no. And I got word that Dallas was talking to him. I didn't think it would happen, but that it certainly sounded like over the weekend it was gaining some momentum, picking up steam, and then obviously yesterday we got the call that Dusty was going to take that job and go to Dallas, which obviously is a huge win for the Mavericks, and it's a blow to the University of Michigan.
So it is a massive blow to a team that just won a national championship, had a bunch of guys committing. Now, before we get into what that means for Michigan basketball and how it reverberates in college basketball, Dusty May was on the field at 68 with Jeff Goodman just last week and discussed what frustrates him about college basketball right now.
The thing that frustrates me is even every time there seems to be a solution to, I guess, solve one of the biggest problems, then some of the more well-known coaches come out and say that affects them in a negative way. And there's a give and take with everything. There's going to be some negative, it's going to have a negative impact on someone. But I think rarely do we look at what's best for the enterprise of college basketball, what's best for the whole, instead of looking at it, what's best for my calendar. I mean, it's even with the NBA stuff. When you talk about, let's say players don't get drafted and they're able to go back to college, that is a horrible, horrible rule for head coaches, for myself. But everyone other than me, I think it's great. If the players don't get drafted, they don't go high, they can come back and make the sport better. It's better for them, obviously, to be back on a college campus, growing and developing and making and being compensated well. And it's better for the fans. It's literally better for everyone except the college coaches who have to spend time recruiting, and then it impacts their decision on their rosters.
Well, guess what? Dusty May don't have to deal with that anymore. He doesn't. Now, speaking of Dusty May, we want to talk about a come-up. Just a couple years ago, he was coaching FAU, Florida Atlantic. He was head coach of Michigan for 2 years, wins the national title. Now he's on to the NBA. But as we continue here on the Adam Gold Show, Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold, Victoria Vonecker producing the show today. I'm more intrigued about the Jon Scheyer of this because, again, by report, Shams Charania and others, that there was at least conversation between Jon Scheyer and the Dallas Mavericks. I think Jon Scheyer, to me, in my eyes, Jon Scheyer, Victoria, I just turned 40 yesterday. Not to brag. But Jon Scheyer's 1 year younger than me. I was born June of 86.
Right.
He was born August of 87. He's 1 year younger than me. So we're the same generation.
Yeah.
And I feel like, Victoria, especially our generation of people, including Jon Scheyer in this, is that we have seen such the boom over the last several years with social media, technology, and all those kinds of things.
Yep.
When we were younger, we grew up with that. I remember you probably were in middle school like myself and whatever when AOL Instant Messenger became a thing, and chat rooms and all that kind of stuff. And then you were like, all right, in college, okay, I have my Instant Messenger up. There's my away message,
right.
that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then, as we got older, like in college, after the end of my freshman year in college, Facebook became a thing, MySpace was a thing, and then eventually things like Vine came out. Like, we were growing with technology. And I feel like for us, so we're oddly positioned in terms of our generation regarding, trust me, there's a parallel to this, that there is, we have an appreciation for what was.
Yeah.
Hey, riding our bikes, watching cartoons, physical media. I still read a newspaper. I still read physical comics.
I love books.
Books, yes.
Physical books.
Not just reading what's on a screen. So we appreciate that, but we also understand where things are going and where things have come from. So we have an appreciation for both. And I think that's where Jon Scheyer, in my opinion, is positioned perfectly in college basketball, where he's young enough to know what college basketball was like. And what a lot of people still hold near and dear to their hearts in terms of what college sports used to be. But he's also young enough and understanding enough that it's evolving and changing, and he can adapt with it while still having the appreciation, obviously, for the legacy of Duke basketball. He's part of it, and a major part of it, and what college sports used to be, but still adapting to the way things are changing now. He was the first coach when he got hired or promoted from assistant coach under Mike Krzyzewski. I think he was the first or one of the first programs to hire a general manager in Rachel Baker. So he was ahead of the curve. We just saw UNC just hire one before last season. So he's already been ahead of the curve with it. So to me, I think Jon Scheyer is uniquely positioned to handle college basketball as it evolves, because as he was an assistant coach, he saw the evolution, still young enough to appreciate what college sports used to be. And I'm sure there probably is part of him that still wishes things were what they used to be. Trust me, I think we all have that in some way, shape, or form. But he's also keen to what things are now. And I think that's the reason why Jon Scheyer, in my opinion, is uniquely able to handle college basketball today. Because he has the understanding and appreciation for what it used to be, the legacy of a program like Duke, but also is aware of how to navigate the times of recruiting.
Yeah.
He's
he can
ready.
mold to whatever the newest, latest thing is.
He's shown
Adapt.
the ability to adapt.
Yes.
Exactly. Nailed
there
the
it
word.
is. That's exactly true.
I am curious, though. Jon Scheyer, who's about to turn 39 later on this summer, I am curious to see, how long does he stay at Duke? You heard Shams Charania there just a few minutes ago saying that Jon Scheyer is might eventually, or he's thought to be eventually one day to be an NBA coach. That might happen sooner than later. You
That's
don't know.
fair.
It could happen tomorrow.
Yeah. He's proven that he can do great as a college coach, so I wouldn't doubt it. And he filled huge shoes, too, by the way. Like, it to me, it's just impressive alone, the fact that he was able to fill those Coach K shoes and just keep running with it.
Kind of wild.
Yeah.
Kind of wild. I mean, the fact that he's been to how many Elite Eights? And he won 3 straight Elite Eights and a couple Final Four. I get it. But then now I'm starting to think of if, just say John Shire, let's say in 2 years goes to the NBA. Who takes over at Duke?
I know.
I mean, those are big shoes to fill. I mean, North Carolina is going through the exact same thing. Hubert Davis had to step into for Roy Williams. Remember, it took a couple of coaches to go from Dean Smith to Roy. So yeah, now here are the we have college coaches and Dusty May going to the NBA. We have a national championship winner, and then we also have an NBA title winner and Michael Malone going to college to coach UNC. It reverberates across both levels. That's what it is. All right, next up. As I mentioned earlier, Victoria, the Carolina Panthers, 1 month from today, start training camp. 1 month from today.
It's exciting.
Going into year 4 is Bryce Young. And the reason why I'm mentioning him today is because the NFL every year does a top 100.
And he's in it.
And he's in it. He was picked at number 98. So the way it works, it's an inexact science. This is, from my understanding, is that players are given a paper ballot, and they're supposed to write their top 20 players. Now, if you're written down number 1 on someone's ballot, there's like a certain number point total all the way down to number 20. So this is, again, from my understanding. So players are just writing them on a piece of paper, and then all those get collected physically. They get entered into spreadsheets, and then spits out the number. Here's where we go. I think it was Aaron Jones, the running back from Minnesota, was number 98 last year. So if you're on enough ballots of players across the league, even if it's number 20, you're getting votes, right? So again, it's an inexact science. I don't know. It's what it is. But he was picked at number 98. I don't know if that means anything. I genuinely don't. Maybe, Victoria, it means that other players around the league are recognizing something specific or special about Bryce Young.
Yeah. If nothing else, hopefully it helps his, like him feeling good about himself, that he's doing the right thing. I don't know.
Maybe. But it's one thing to be viewed as by other teams or maybe other players around the league, or at least a few players, and your actual true production on the field. Because that's something that the Carolina Panthers are going to have to weigh this season. I'm going to say it's a make or break, no excuse season for Bryce Young. Just plain and simple. They got you a number 1 receiver in T-Mac. You know who your number 2 is in Jalen Coker. You just drafted another wide receiver in the 3rd round. You have one of the highest paid offensive lines in the entire NFL. They actually gave you a play caller specifically just to call plays for you, or they gave the responsibility to Brad Isaacs, no longer the head coach doing it. Oh, and they also brought in Darrell Bevel to help contribute to the staff as well. So, all right, man. Can you win games just beyond, all right, keep it close, guys, and we have a 4th quarter comeback? Because you can't sustain that long term. You can't. Because remember last season, they went 8-9. They're still below 500 team. Now, he has to elevate his play because there's a big financial decision that comes in with Bryce Young after this season. Do you pay him mass amount of money or not? Because then there's a trickle-down effect that reverberates not just through the Carolina Panthers, but different parts of the league as well. It's that butterfly effect, Victoria. It's like a pebble in a lake is still felt.
Right.
So I think being in the top 100, okay, guess what? I think the expectations for him rise. The expectations for him rise.
Yeah.
And as they should.
I know.
You're the number 1 overall pick.
And you would hope so, too, because it's not his 1st, 2nd, or 3rd year. I mean, you would hope.
Year 4.
Right.
Even if you look at his first year, which was a disaster with Frank Reich and that whole entire that whole situation was awful. We all can acknowledge that. Okay, fine. If you ignore the first year, this is still year 3. Like, you still expect a growth.
Yeah.
Massive leap. We'll see. 1 month from today, they start training camp.
Man.
1 month from today.
Coming up quick.
I will say real quick before we move on here. There are things I do not question about Bryce Young. that I absolutely do not question. I do not question his work ethic. I do not question his character. I do not question his leadership. I do not question his knowledge of what's happening on the field. The biggest constraint for him is just his physical ability. The lack of size, I think it hurts him and hinders him from being able to throw the ball over the middle of the field, which is something the Carolina Panthers do not do. And I think with arm strength, there's an inconsistency with hitting intermediate routes, which is something that you need to do in the NFL to thrive. Because intermediate routes turned into chunk plays, 10 to 19 yards downfield. That is where Bryce Young struggles. And if he improves there, then he can be a guy. But if he doesn't, you are limited. You are limited. To me, it's just the physical aspect of it. I don't question character. I don't question leadership. I don't question his IQ or his work ethic. Zero doubt. None whatsoever. You can tell the guys in the locker room care about him. You definitely can. And that matters. That does matter.
Yeah. You got to rally behind your guy.
Yes. But you can't always be a team that's just like, all right, keep it close in the fourth quarter and we're going to get a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't consistently win like that.
And you don't
just
want
can't.
to.
No,
It's not
nor
good
should
for your
you.
Blood pressure.
Yeah. Like, it's okay to win 28-10.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to do that.
And in those moments, fluky things happen. So
They
you
do.
don't want to leave it to that.
They do. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodenecker producing the show, as always. The NHL has some interesting things going on with it right now. And there are decisions that are being made by other teams around the league that, again, when one team makes a trade, Brady Tkachuk from the Ottawa Senators to the Florida Panthers, a bunch of picks going back the other way. Well, that impacts the rest of the league because it changes the math equations for what teams can do or can't do. So it's felt across the league. Julian McKenzie of The Athletic joins us next to discuss where players in the NHL are headed, not just physically about who they're playing for, but the mentality and the power that they are wielding. Next on The Adam Gold Show.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
After 20 years, the wait is over.
5 seconds away. Played out. And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup. It's yours, Carolina.
Such a great story with this team. I mean, you dig into it, it's amazing, and I'm just really proud.
Your official home for the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes, winners of the 2026 Stanley Cup. They fought hard all year and have reached the top. Great work on an incredible season. Brought to you by Smith Anderson Law Firm, where winning performance meets over a century of trusted counsel.
We all want more for North Carolina. More boundless views, more adventures in the outdoors, and more clean roads to get there. But to get more, we have to do less. Less littering, that is. Make it your nature to trash your trash and keep NC clean. And we'll all have more reasons to love North Carolina. Litter less, get more. For more on the 7 outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles, visit OutdoorNC.com. Sponsored by the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters and Visit North Carolina, a part of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina in cooperation with this station.
What does it mean to win this award to you? It means a lot to me, just being recognized for all my hard work on and off the court.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found Tax Relief Advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Your summer food game is only as strong as what you're working with. This July 4th at Lowe's, get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $50 on a select Pit Boss DX Smart Electric Smoker, now $249. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
When students struggle because they are hungry
or fall behind because they lack school supplies,
a caring adult can make all the difference.
Especially someone from the community.
Someone who knows the students
and the obstacles they might be facing.
At Communities in Schools, our site coordinators surround students with a community of support
to ensure that they have everything they need to engage in learning.
We go all in for kids, all day, every day.
To learn more, visit communitiesinschools.org.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
This is Adam Gold.
From William, what does Jarvie need to do to get going?
Candy, like sour worms.
Oh, for sure. He's probably one of those psychos that likes warheads.
Yeah, nerds. He would eat those. Yeah, get a whole bag of those, Seth. Go nuts.
Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
Hockey's having a moment right now. Obviously, the Carolina Hurricanes just had their celebration with a parade, but when you win a cup, you have no time to rest. Teams are trading players for draft picks. You got the draft coming up this week. Free agency is next week. We're basically a week away from that. And to help us break it all down, Julian McKenzie of The Athletic joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold today. All right, Julian, let's start with something that you're very close to up there in Ottawa. The Senators trading their captain. Their captain, Brady Tkachuk, 2 years left on his deal for a boatload of first-round picks, 3 first-round picks, and a second, and don't get a player in return. It's one of those things that feels like, Julian, correct me if I'm wrong, that some people are shocked that it happened, but at the same time, people are like, we're expecting it to come.
So, if you'll let me,
absolutely,
try to explain everything here.
Please do.
Because of the climate with American players in the NHL right now, as to pertaining to all the geopolitics and how everything went down at the White House and the Olympics and even Four Nations, if you go a year before, there's been a lot of weirdness with those relations. And when you see American players play in Canada, I think a lot of fans wonder, is the climate such where players like an Austin Matthews or Brady Tkachuk might see what's going on and think, okay, you know what, I might want out of here and I might want to go back home to the States. I mean, particularly with Brady, we can't say anything about Austin. He's still at the Leafs. But with Brady, you can point to him celebrating at the White House and then returning to Canada and being met with a wash of questions from the media and fans kind of being on the fence about his allegiances politically, obviously just him with Donald Trump and the White House and all that. You have to remember, Donald Trump, once upon a time, said that he wanted Canada as the 51st state. And that's a very important background to all of this. When you consider the fact that Brady Tkachuk, as much as he liked playing in Ottawa, was the captain of this team, I have a hard time separating those things in terms of reasons as to why he would have wanted to go back to play in the United States, particularly on a team in Florida where his brother Matthew is there. And also, and I get a large part of that is because of the fact that he's won Stanley Cups and he's built up his own profile. He doesn't have the same pressures that follow him every day in terms of attention as Brady would, being the captain of a Canadian team, not even just a Canadian team, a team in the nation's capital of Canada. So the roundabout way to answer your question, there are fans who did not want this day to come because Brady Tkachuk has meant so much to this team and so much to this city. off of the fact that, there's the name Tkachuk, but also his play on the ice made him one of the premier power forwards in the game. But I do think there were a lot of people who looked at the last year and they looked at how he handled himself politically, and they also looked at how he handled himself with the team. There were people who wondered if he had checked out partway through the year or if he just only cared about being there for his American teammates and not providing that same level with the Ottawa Senators. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people, particularly online, have been upset, have been up in arms, and are coming up with nicknames for him like Trady Tkachuk and all that, right? Like it's a very nuanced discussion to be had about Brady. But ultimately, I think for the Ottawa Senators, particularly in the situation where the only thing they could do was trade him to Florida because Brady made it clear he wanted to go to Florida, they feel they made as good of a deal as they could make. I would have loved to have seen a player come back at the other end of this deal, but now it's on the Ottawa Senators to turn those draft picks into players.
Julian McKenzie of The Athletic joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold today. There's a lot of things to build off from what you just said. This is not the first time we've seen a captain of a Canadian team traded. We saw from Vancouver, we saw Quinn Hughes get traded to Minnesota early last season. And then now we're seeing Brady Tkachuk get moved here this offseason. There's a trickle-down effect with all these moves. And you mentioned Ottawa. They got the 3 first-round picks in a second. They didn't get a player in return, but you opened up over $8 million in cap space by doing so. You have a bunch of assets if you want to trade and get somebody. And also one of those picks you have is the 9th overall pick. I know a lot of Carolina Hurricanes fans are interested in a guy like possibly Alex Tuch or even a Jason Robertson. Does Ottawa make a move for both of those guys, or at least one of them, in terms of an offer sheet or a sign and trade, something along those lines? Because Ottawa has a lot to work with.
I would be surprised if Alex Tuch would be, maybe that's a guy you think of in that situation. I think he's going to go to market and maybe find himself on another American team, just off of, what I've been hearing with that. But also I think for Jason Robertson, we talked about it on the podcast, my podcast with Chris Johnston. Mm-hmm. It seems as if Jason Robertson would not be interested in going to a team like the Ottawa Senators. So this also brings up a really interesting scenario where the Ottawa Senators have these picks and these assets that they could put together in a trade. And because of all of the different no moves that exist out there and no trades that exist out there and all that for certain players, it's like one part of the difficulty in all this is trying to make that trade. They have to look out for guys and be like, oh, do these guys even want to play in our market? Like that is a crazy hurdle that they're going to have to deal with. And guys like Jason Robertson might not see the Ottawa Senators as a viable destination, which is a shame because of what they did in the regular season. And it is a nice city to live in. And there is a good coach in place and there are good players, but it might not be as enticing as playing in a Dallas, for example, or playing in a Vegas or playing in Florida or even in a Carolina at this point, right? Carolina was one of the 4 teams that were mentioned for Brady Tkachuk, right? Like, I think for the Ottawa Senators now, maybe it's a guy like Mason McTavish. You try to see maybe if a guy like Jordan Kyrou might be interested in waiving his no trade. If you're thinking of restricted free agents, a guy you can tender an offer sheet to, does Pavel Dorofeyev make sense in Vegas? He's just coming off 2 30-goal seasons in Vegas. You have to find guys who fit what you need, but also want to play here. That is the challenge that presents itself for the Ottawa Senators.
All right, Carolina Hurricanes were in a very similar exact situation just last season with Mikko Rantanen. Hey, they brought him in. He didn't want to be here, so they flipped him for something. I think Julian McKenzie, The Athletic, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold. I think the thing that we're seeing is, I think we're in the early part, we're seeing this shift in players really controlling where they go, especially the guys that have the no movement clauses. When you hear a guy like Dylan Larkin, who's a captain of an original 6 team in Detroit, saying he wants out. You have Brady Tkachuk, a captain of a team, get traded. You've had a captain of a team, and like I mentioned, Quinn Hughes getting moved from Vancouver. And they have a guy like Connor Hellebuck up in Winnipeg who apparently wants out as well. Guys seems like they're using their power as much as they can to control where they go. Are we ever going to get back to the free agency that we once knew, or guys like Nikolai Ehlers or John Tavares, they finished out their contracts and then they went and signed somewhere else?
I guess it depends on the quality of players and what they want to do with their contracts and their situations. I do think, though, like, it is cool to see players recognizes their situation and recognize the power that they do have and try to make something work for themselves. Because at the end of the day, teams could always say, hey, you know what? I don't need this player. Let me flip this player. Let me cut this guy. Like, teams for so long have had this power and they can wield them over the players. But to see it kind of flipped on the other way, like, I'm not necessarily upset at it. And even for a guy like Brady Tkachuk, like, at the end of the day, it is his decision to want to be in an environment that he feels a lot more comfortable being in, or whatever he wants to do with his life. That's on him. But I definitely sense that shift, and I think general managers around the league are definitely taking notice of that as well.
And the loyalty, like you mentioned, the loyalty goes both ways. A player signs let's say a 3-year contract with the team, and they get dealt midway through that contract. Well, wait a second, where's the loyalty from the team? We agreed to a 3-year deal. So I know a lot of people will bash the players for wanting to control their situation, but in my eyes, like you said, the players are realizing that they have some power and they have the ability to control where they want to be. Some guys do. Not everyone really has that ability. And I don't blame them. If you have a no-move
clause or whatever, you absolutely have that power. And again, like, I think it's considering the fact that, like, for years it's been the other way around. It's interesting and I know you're a basketball guy too. I think it's interesting to see the NHL enter this, like, player empowerment era that, like, the NBA went through, like, 15 years ago with, like, LeBron going to Miami and the big three that assembled themselves in Boston. And I mean, we're seeing some of the lingering effects of that now in the NBA. I'm curious to see how it's going to work out for these NHL players who continue to, who the ones who have that power anyway, who are going to look at those situations and be like, hey, you know what? Like, it's time for me to go somewhere else and make the most of it. And right now we're seeing this with American players. Like, what if like imagine, particularly Canadian fans, obviously I'm thinking about it from being north of the border. If we see more and more guys who are in Canadian markets, who are Canadians who do this, then I think you're going to see a lot of reverberation around that.
Final thing here for Julian McKenzie of The Athletic, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. One thing about these deals that we've seen so far, we talked about Alex Tuch's a free agent, the RFA, and Jason Robertson. There's Pavel Dorofeyev. You have a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky in net. What's the biggest or the next big domino to fall? Again, Dylan Larkin apparently wants out of Detroit. Connor Hellebuck wants out of Winnipeg. What's the next big domino to fall? Again, that reverberates across the entire NHL.
I mean, at this point, I'm sure you've seen some of the reports from my colleague, Pierre LeBrun. It seems as if there's some discussions going around with Zach Werenski with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wow. That's a name I'm very intrigued about with his situation and where he might end up, for example. I think for Jason Robertson and his situation in Dallas, this is a guy who's a restricted free agent. What's going to happen with him? Is Dallas going to be able to find the money to keep him, or is he going to be a guy who could be on the move on a trade? Like, I think right now, some of the bigger names that are out there, like with respect to the free agent market and guys like Alex Tuch, it's not going to get the same shine as it normally gets compared to some guys who may be out there on the trade market, some guys who are even out there as restricted free agents. Like Connor Bedard is up for a deal this year. Yeah. Like what deal is he going to get, right? Like Macklin Celebrini is up for an extension this year. What deal is he going to get, right? Like those guys I expect to stay in their markets, but that's still, I think, just as exciting as trying to figure out where Alex Tuch is going to go. I mean, Darren Radish was going to be the biggest defensive name on the free agent market, and he already got traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs and signed an extension. Mm-hmm. At this point now, it's which teams are going to make big moves ahead of the draft or after the draft that are going to make teams better, and how are teams who move on from these big-time players going to, figure out their teams after that. Those are some of the bigger dominoes I'm looking at.
Julian McKenzie, give him a follow at JKA McKenzie on the old X. Julian, also follow his work on The Athletic as well. Julian, thanks for your time. Really do appreciate it, my man.
Thanks, DC.
Again, it's Julian McKenzie of The Athletic joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. There's a lot of Canes discussion that could still take place. And Victoria, who's producing the show today, I know there's a lot of those questions coming up in one-timers. One-timers next on the Adam Gold Show.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our American dream is ice cream. Red, White, and Bluebell is our strawberry ice cream loaded with strawberries, alongside creamy vanilla and blueberry ice cream with real blueberries. A full half-gallon of red, white, and blue ice cream. Feel free to celebrate.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Electricity. It's what powers our lives, from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Across North Carolina, 26 electric cooperatives serve 2.8 million people. And we are committed to delivering reliable, affordable power. We're not for profit and are driven by service, providing the best possible value for our member owners. We're strengthening the people and communities that make our state great, today and for generations to come. Learn more at ncelectriccooperatives.com.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
This is Adam Gold.
That's Frederick Anderson joking, believe it or not. Like, it's not great comedic timing.
Right.
But that is
It's
Anderson
there.
joking. You can tell. He's like, I'm not going to play your little games, but I know what you're doing.
Like when he was getting his award last season and he was on the ice and it just looked like he was walking through the park.
The Adam Gold Show.
Victoria, I know a lot of the players are still riding the high of the celebration of the parade and all that stuff for the Carolina Hurricanes this past Saturday, which was, talk about capping off an awesome week. Winning a Stanley Cup on Sunday last week, then capping off with a massive parade in downtown Raleigh on Saturday. Guys just going out downtown Raleigh for multiple nights. They even got away for a little bit. I actually Victoria, by the way, Seattle Gold Show, Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodnecker producing the show. They actually had some media availability for players before they took the stage, and I asked Jordan Stahl, I said, what was it like seeing the city like that? His eyes lit up. He goes, I was trying to tell these guys what to expect because he knows how these Caniacs are. And he said that even I was blown away by it. And I think we all were. I think it was just such a good time. I think everyone had a blast. But now, focus, Victoria, quickly shifts. Off-season starts very, very soon. Actually, it's already started around the NHL. And I know there's a lot of questions that come up with one-timers. All right, V, what do we have?
Okay, so like everyone knows, they can either leave it in the YouTube chat or they can add me on Twitter, V to the Victoria with some underscores. But first up, William wants to know, has Stank solidified himself as the second center? If they were to bring in a big trade from another center, where would he play? The roster seems full and set for the next year to me.
I think he's shown that he could be a number two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all watch the playoffs, right? Against the toughest of competition. Again, it's playoff competition. It's not a Wednesday night against Seattle, on a consistent basis. No, you're playing tough playoff teams, and he showed out. I think the big question, Victoria, is if I'm Eric Tulsky, I'm asking Jordan Stahl, how much longer do you want to do this? He has 1 year left on his contract. If he wants to keep playing, you sign him. Let him keep playing. Now, he might have to play a quote-unquote fourth-line center role, just again, as he ages, which is okay. Still be your captain, still be the leader in the locker room. But if he tells you, hey, I've got this final year of my contract, that's it, I have no problem with the Carolina Hurricanes making a trade for a center to get ahead of it now. Whether you want to go after Robert Thomas from St. Louis or you want to make the move for Dylan Larkin. I still think they need a right-handed center. I think Adam Gold has said that as much. They still need a right-handed center that can be responsible in the defensive zone, especially on the penalty kill, which is something that Robert Thomas does. But if eventually it becomes to where you're Aho, Stankoven, Robert Thomas, 1, 2, 3, and then Stahl at number 4 this upcoming season, for it. I'm all for it. And then you can have the rotation of, all right, who the wingers on the fourth line or in the bottom six of Jankowski, Eric Robinson. If Martin Nook needs a night off, William Carrier. That gives you flexibility in your lineup. Now, it's going to cost you a lot to go get a top 2 center. But, I mean, to me, Stankoven is at minimum a number 3 center going forward. At minimum. But I think he showed that he could be the number 2 because his name's about to be on the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think he showed that.
Sure
All right,
is.
what's next, Victoria?
Next up from Drew. Thoughts on the Hellebuyck to Carolina rumors. ESPN suggested Nikisha Nadeau first for Hellebuyck. Would you do that? My gut says a resounding yes.
That's tough. Because Connor Hellebuyck alongside Brandon Bussey as a 1-2 combination going forward will be awesome.
Yeah.
And then also you have to figure out what you want to do with Kochetkov because you do need to have a third goaltender. Guys are going to get hurt. You need a third goaltender. Now, do you trust Caden Primo in your minor league system, whoever it might be? But that's where Brandon Bussey came in. Remember, because they needed a third goaltender because Pyotr Kochetkov had the hip issue. That's difficult because if you're going to trade Nikishin, you're going to have to get something big back. Same with Nadeau and the first. You're going to get the big fish. They have the money to do it. But here's what it leaves you if you trade Nikishin. It leaves you a little thin on the back end. Shane Gostisbehere is going into the final year of his contract. Jalen Chatfield is going into the final year of his contract. Do you trust Joel Nystrom to come up and play on the third pair alongside Shane Gostisbehere? Do you trust that? Or Charles Alexis Legault? How much do you trust those young guys to come in to be an everyday defenseman for you? It also depends on how you feel about Nikishin's future. Do you see him as a top 4 defenseman or even a top pair defenseman in the next couple of years? And also, what's the contract situation look like because he is a restricted free agent? So all those things have to factor into it. Part of me wants to say no. Part of me wants to say no and see what happens with Bussey, but I don't know, but there's no spot on the roster right now for Bradley Nadeau. There's just not. I know people are like intrigued, like this guy's got to be on the team. Well, guess what? You just won a cup without him playing a regular, everyday role. Now, I'm intrigued by his upside, sure, but you've already proven that you can win without him. Yeah, I make the move.
Yeah.
I make the move.
Nice. Next up, another one from William.
Okay.
So, what North Carolina pro team is next to do what Canes have done and win the championship? Panthers, Hornets, or Charlotte FC? Please and thank you. Let it be the Panthers. That's my opinion.
I've said this multiple times that I feel like the Carolina Panthers, the way they're building their team.
Yeah.
The way they're building their team and they're building the core of their roster. Not just the core of the roster, but the culture in that locker room. It has been very Canes-esque. So to me, I think that's the one, is that they have a long-term goal in mind and they're not overreaching for a lot.
Yeah.
They're not trading away, wasting a bunch of draft picks to try and go like trade for current guys. They're not doing that. They understand that their window that they're in right now. So I would probably say the Panthers follow closely by the Hornets. I don't know enough about Charlotte FC. I just don't.
Yeah.
But I would say the Panthers are building in that direction. And Dan Morgan has a plan in mind.
I'm so excited to see Dan cook. He's been doing a good job.
Chef Boyardee.
I love
Chef
it.
Boyardee, baby. Keep cooking. Chef Boyardee. I told him that, by the way. That my nickname for him is Chef Boyardee. He chuckled. I just told him keep cooking. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. On the other side, what is the biggest question for the Carolina Panthers? Next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
When news breaks, don't wait. WRAL News Plus goes with you everywhere. Weather, traffic, and breaking news, live and local, all day, every day. Listen on 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and throughout the Triangle on 101.5 FM HD3. At home, in the car, at work, or on the go. Stay connected to the Triangle's most trusted newsroom anytime, anywhere. WRAL News Plus. Coverage you can count on.
June is Men's Health Month, and here's a tough truth. Only about 28% of men meet federal guidelines for both aerobic activity and muscle strengthening exercise. Meanwhile, obesity, poor sleep, stress, and inactivity rates continue to rise. Here's a health tip from Kraft Body Scan. Long-term health rarely comes from extreme changes. Consistency is what matters most. More movement, better sleep, improved nutrition, and fewer excuses to get to it later. Get moving on healthier habits today.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 28 500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
We don't want you on our team.
You're not the right fit for this job.
You're too slow and fast.
Don't you care how you look?
Weight bias hurts. Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I have a certain way to coach. I don't think I could do it anywhere else. We have a lot of talk in our room about caring, and that's not phony. You can't, and so this has been my home forever. My kids have been raised here in Raleigh and played for the team, and it's just, I'm very lucky. I don't know how many coaches anywhere kind of have that. It was our time. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't going to be denied.
Culture in sports matters so much.
Big time.
And it's a word that gets, in my opinion, it probably gets overused. It's used a lot, I should say. Culture. For a long time, it was family, locker room dynamic, whatever it is. But culture genuinely does matter in sports. And we're seeing it with teams across multiple sports, multiple levels. And I just said it a little bit ago. By the way, it's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vonecker producing the show today. Victoria, I know I'm pivoting here a little bit off of our initial plan, what we plan to talk about here. But if you look at what the culture of the Carolina Hurricanes have set with Rob Brind'Amour, you've heard guys talk about how not only does he demand a lot of them from a physical aspect, the conditioning, how difficult they are to play, the attention to detail, just how physically difficult it is to play in that system, and how much they ask for them, and guys being in a certain level of conditioning, those kinds of things. What's asked of the players physically is nothing that Rob Brind'Amour himself either A, didn't do or wasn't willing to do himself when he was a player. So he's not asking his guys to do something that he himself doesn't do. But also, you've heard guys talk about it many times, about how Rob Brind'Amour cares about his players as people first. He cares about them as people first. He cares about them as dads, because we've seen over the last few years, just this playoff run, Victoria, 3 of the players had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Walker, first-time dad. Keandre Miller, first-time dad. Jalen Chatfield just had his second child.
Lots of babies in cups now.
A lot of babies in cups, and I expect a lot more in 9 months. Mm-hmm. But you also have seen in recent seasons, Shane Gostisbehere just had his first child. Eric Robinson just had his first kid. Sebastian Aho just had his first child as well. So you have seen this team, Jalen Chatfield even thrown into the mix as well, had his first kid just a couple of years ago. So we have seen this team grow, and the players grow individually, and Rod cares about them so much as people first. And I think that's something that I think the best teams in sports have. Sure, you can have a culmination, or you can accumulate a lot of great talent, right? You can accumulate a lot of great talent. But if your culture's toxic, if players don't feel like they're valued, then guess what? It's probably not going to work. It's probably not going to work. I've heard players say about Rob Brind'Amour that no matter where you play in the lineup, your role is valued because you need to perform that role in order for the team to win. And you heard Rob Brind'Amour on Saturday on the podium or on the stage during their celebration talking about how It truly is it was a team win. They're going to look at the Stanley Cup. They're going to look at this 2026 Stanley Cup champion team of the Carolina Hurricanes and say, this was the best team. Because there's no superstar player. They didn't have any players in the top 20 of scoring. They didn't have any player or coach or executive be a finalist for a major award. None. Not even Eric Tulsky, the general manager, wasn't even a finalist for general manager of the year. Rob Brindamore won the Jack Adams for coach of the year back in 2019. He wasn't a finalist this year. Jordan Staal, one of the best defensive forwards in the entire NHL, was not a finalist for the Selke. They didn't have any of that. But what were they? They were the best team. The culture mattered, and they didn't disrupt the room with who they brought in or sent out. Because remember, if you look at 23 of the 24 guys that won the Cup for the Carolina Hurricanes, 23 of the 24 were on the opening night roster. 23 of the 24. The only new guy that was brought in during the Cup, I mean, obviously there are call-ups from the American League and so on, but the only new guy on the stage that wasn't there at the beginning of the year was Nick Delorier. And he played in one playoff game. He played 3 minutes and 9 seconds. It was the same group. And he was rewarded because of how well he assimilated to the locker room, how much he's revered in the locker room. They signed him for 2 more years on stage. Baller move, by the way. That stuff is so important, and it's so vital. And I think we get swept up so much in sports about how I just need this player to do X, Y, Z. I just need this player to perform, and we forget about the person doing it. And I've said this about the Carolina Hurricanes, and I'm going to say the same thing about the Carolina Panthers, is that what I've seen what the Carolina Panthers are doing, which, by the way, 1 month from today, July 23rd, is their first practice of training camp. They start earlier than other teams because of the Hall of Fame game, but it's literally 1 month from today. July 23rd is their first practice. Rookies report on July 21st. Vets report on July 22nd. First practice, July 23rd. And you can tell, I remember, because I covered the Carolina Panthers podcast called Panthers Playbook, part of 99.9 The Fan, which is the flagship station for the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold, by the way. 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh, the flagship station for the Adam Gold Show. I host a Panthers podcast. So myself and my co-host Chris Lee from WRAL, we go to games. We go into the locker room. We talk to players. We'll go to training camp. And you could tell from Dave Canales' first season in 2024, the beginning of that year, to what it was at the end of last season, the locker room. Now, I understand that there was some more winning involved in those kinds. Like, well, winning cures everything. Actually, it doesn't always cure everything. It doesn't. You could tell by the way guys rallied behind each other after losses and how well they spoke of each other after losing games, how much it mattered. The players in the locker room, how much they were galvanized. Remember Deontay Johnson, Victoria, the wide receiver that the Carolina Panthers traded for in the 2024 offseason? And then wide receiver from Pittsburgh, they traded Dante Jackson, and there was like a pick swap involved and all that kind of stuff. Talented player.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't great in the locker room.
No.
There's a reason why he no longer has a job in the NFL. It ain't because of his talent.
Yeah.
He doesn't lack it. But the Carolina Panthers did the right thing of getting rid of that. Like, all right, let's try it. Let's see what happens here. Guess what? Not good for our locker room. They moved on from him.
There is such a thing as a bad apple.
There is.
And if you don't mesh with the guys, then, it's best not to have that.
Yes. That stuff matters so much.
Mm-hmm.
I've interviewed Dan Morgan. You've heard him say it multiple times about getting the right people in place. And it's not just the people that are in the locker room in terms of the players. It's the right people on your staff. It's the right people in your front office. Those things matter. Remember 2023, Victoria? I know a lot of Panthers fans want to clear that out of their mind, 2023 season, because it sucked.
It was awful.
2-15. You fired Frank Reich in the middle of the year. What's the thing that we heard about when Frank Reich got fired after 11 games? About how they were players. I'm sorry, they were coaching staff members that were going directly to owner David Tepper, like bypassing the head coach. There were personal agendas among coaches, and things just obviously did not work.
It was a mess.
It was a complete total mess. Well, guess what? That's what you got. Now, also the roster was not very good at all. But those kinds of things matter. And the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion, have been building in the right way, a long-term sustainable way. Not, hey, let's go all in and cash in right now and see if we can put this thing together right away.
Yeah.
LA Rams can do that because they have the resources, but also they understand what their personnel is. And again, finding the right guys.
The Panthers problem is not a quick fix. And that's the whole thing. It's a slow grind. It's just like losing weight. You know, you could try to do a quick fix, but it's going to come right back. You need to do slow and steady.
Here's the thing. The quick fix is the slow and steady because the shortcut always comes back. And guess what? You're right back at square one. So guess what? It ends up taking longer.
That's 7-year plans now, 17-year plan.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt Rule.
Uh-huh.
We want to talk about, again, lack of culture or bad culture, toxic culture. The Matt Rule era. Need I say more?
No.
Need I say more? And there were good players. He was there when they drafted Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard. Like, there were some good players that were brought in. Brady Christensen, like, again, guys that filled some roles. There weren't bad players on that roster, like during the Matt Rule era. But again, the environment was awful. And he had his hands all over it, and the environment sucked.
And if you don't know how to utilize, your key pieces, then it's a waste.
Yes. It's an absolute waste.
And it was.
My point is this, is that the Carolina Hurricanes weren't, even core players, they weren't afraid to move them. And if they got the bad apple in the room, they got rid of them quickly. Eric Holla got rid of him. They signed him in the offseason. They got rid of him quickly.
Yep.
That was super quickly. But during that first season, didn't even play a full season with the team, Eric Holla. We all remember Mikko Rantanen. That was just a year ago. That was literally 2025.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. There's a lot that's happened since. But they recognized right away, okay, we got the talent, but the player doesn't fit. The person doesn't fit.
Yep. And the fans saw it too. That's why his jersey was in the street and people were walking over it for free steps.
Oh, yes, they were. Yes, they were. Which, by the way, Canes fans.
I know. Kudos for that. I love it.
Victoria, not many people know this about me. I'm kind of all in on the pettiness.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of all in on the pettiness.
Yeah.
I really can be.
Yeah.
I could be petty.
I mean, hey, we didn't start it.
No,
so.
Didn't. But I admit there are times I can be petty. I do try and take the high road. I try to. I really do. But when I see the Mikko Rantanen thing, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there for it.
And I respect it. I love it. I kind of love it, actually.
Yep.
People matter. And I think this is something that I remember Dave Canales talked about when he took over as head coach, about how he wanted to get to know players on a personal level. Because if this goes for any, not just team, Victoria, but any person in the workplace, if you're listening to this right now or watching this on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube, hello to everyone out there watching as well. We all want to feel valued in our roles.
Yeah.
We all do. Because guess what? If you feel valued in your role, whatever it might be, whether you're in your workplace, whatever it is, if you don't feel valued, you're not going to have the best output that you could possibly have. And if teams start valuing people more than just what they can do in terms of a performance standpoint, well, then guess what? You're going to get the maximum out of players. That's exactly what the Carolina Hurricanes just did. They're talented. Do not get me wrong. But that team doesn't have the superstar. They don't. But they got the max out of players because the players felt valued in what they do.
Yeah.
Even if you're just the fourth line guy, whatever it might be, quote unquote fourth line guy, you understood your role and you felt valued in doing it. I see this happen in like sports and stuff, especially football. It's like, what can you do for me right now? Oh, if you're not doing a good enough thing for me, well then guess what? Bye. Or either you get cut or even the player. Like we see it in college sports a lot. If I don't feel valued in what I bring to a team, or at least what I feel is valued, then guess what? I'm going to try and go somewhere else where I can find value. It's no different than like us in our job world. It's no different.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that you have the right people in place.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff matters. And then as we move forward to the NBA draft tonight, I've heard Dan Morgan say this, Victoria. He said oftentimes when you're drafting players, you're not, if the player doesn't work out, oftentimes it's not the player that didn't work out, it's the person that didn't work out. Because obviously anyone that's going to get drafted tonight into the NBA is a talented player. There's zero doubt about it. There is some level of skill to what they do. Otherwise, you want to get drafted. It's not like me getting drafted tonight into the NBA as a 40-year-old, 5'10" guy. That's not. If someone drafted me tonight, where do I sign? Don't get me wrong. But my point is this. You have to make sure that you do the right thing in terms of evaluating the person first. Because if the character is not there, then guess what? You will fail as a team. That's the biggest thing you have to look out for. You have to make sure that you have the right culture in place. And I hope the Charlotte Hornets are building that. I feel the Carolina Hurricanes obviously have done that, and I feel like the Panthers are in that right direction as well. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodenecker producing the show. Speaking of the NBA draft, which, by the way, the Charlotte Hornets have picks number 14, and they have pick number 18 as well. What do they do with those picks? My man Brenden Whitted, who's been on this show before, joins us in studio next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Let me officially put to rest and retire some phrases that I have heard too many times. Let's retire Rod Brind'Amour system can't win a Stanley Cup. Let's retire Sebastian Aho can't be a Stanley Cup champion first-line center. Let's retire the goalies aren't good enough for the Stanley Cup. The Canes won. Retire them.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, biggest sporting event in the world going on right now in North America, and we'll be dealing with it every day, basically, until the middle of July. Frankly, I love it. And FanDuel's got a great idea. It's called the Super Sub, because you can bet an anytime goal scorer, and if that guy comes off in the 60th minute, you're out of luck, right? Not with FanDuel, because you get the guy who subs on for him. For instance, the Three Lions had a winger who played last year at Newcastle, next year will play at Barcelona. He was subbed off in the 72nd minute without scoring. The guy who subbed on for him, who played last year at Barcelona and might again, he scored. So if you did the FanDuel Super Sub, you got that guy. So you're a winner. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hey, girls, what's going on?
We're just mapping out our entertainment to-do list, and we are ready. Okay, here we go. First on the list, House of Hops. Love the place. So relaxing. Variety of food trucks and a new selection of those THC drinks I'm digging on. Oh, and you know I'm a wine drinker, and their wine list is only matched by their huge craft beer selection. Oh, I can't wait. Excellent. Who's next? Well, we gotta eat, right? So zip by Che Empanadas. Scrumptious Argentinian delicacies. Can't go wrong there. That's the one by Sharky's, right? Scrumptious indeed. Eat there all the time. Hey, don't forget Salt and Lime. You know the one by the Raleigh Grand. Girl, Margarita Mondays and Taco Tuesdays? That's where you'll find me.
You girls do have it mapped out. Che Empanadas, the House of Hops and Salt and Lime Cabo Grill. All outstandingly scrumptious. Off Glenwood, Grove Barton, and Durley Road.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. We do it all. In fact, we see patients within 48 hours for everything from sports injuries, spine care, and joint replacement to minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, pediatrics, and more. Visit us today at wakemed.org and get back your life.
This is what breaking news on WRAL sounds like.
Sky 5 captured the moments a high-speed chase ended in a crash.
From the moments that matter.
Let's take a look at those live pictures right now from Sky 5, and you can see
when seconds count.
Authorities say they are very concerned for the safety of the public. And
when your safety is the priority.
It's still an active scene. Take a look behind
and
me.
We begin at 6 with that breaking news. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
Watch WRAL News. Breaking news coverage you can count on.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney.
This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-970-8855. That's 800-970-8855. This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
Oh, that was a good year.
you had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
So a little bit of history here. It was 7 years ago yesterday that I sat in this studio for the first time hosting a show. 7 years ago yesterday. I remember correctly. It was my 33rd birthday. And the man sitting to my left right now was also sitting to my left that exact same day. Brenden Whitted.
Really?
Basketball. Yes. That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Oh,
you
man.
were. It was you and Brian Geisinger.
That makes me feel really good, man.
We were hosting Saturday right here on 99.9 The Fan of Raleigh, the flagship station of the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon, being joined in studio by Brenden Whitted, our resident basketball guru, because it was right after the NBA draft, because remember it was Kobe White was drafted high, Cam Johnson went drafted high as well. So that was that draft.
Oh man,
So
you got me cheesing early to start the
I
draft.
know. I gotta hype you up, man. I gotta hype you up.
We do go back like 4 flats on Cadillac though, so that's real.
All right.
That's real.
What he said. All right. Brendan, the NBA draft is tonight.
Yeah.
All right. And there's a lot of stuff that we're going to tie in with, not only players getting traded left and right, some big-time players. The Hornets have 2 picks today, but I feel like one of those picks might get moved. At least that's the rumor floating around.
Yeah.
But you're wearing a North Carolina hat right now. What's the upside for your man Caleb Wilson?
He's KG to me.
He's KG. Okay, that's fair.
It's not even just his dimensions are very similar to where KG was, particularly when KG got drafted. Remember, he was a high school student.
Yeah.
I think some people have knocked Caleb because he's got a little bit of a slight build.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's not really fair. Some people are 19 years old. You know what I mean? Like I think sometimes we get used to guys like LeBron or just that come in with these monster Durham, come in with these monster frames, and you're like, oh, this is what these kids look like. No, some people are. You're going to slowly look.
Those
Giannis,
guys are the exception.
Yeah, look, if you go back and look at what Giannis looked like when he got drafted.
Oh, he was a stick.
Yeah, and so like
he was a stick.
I've seen that as a knock against. Caleb's handles they still need to be the way, but that's not even the thing that I love so much about him. He came on to Chapel Hill's campus and said, I want to be the best freshman this university's ever seen.
Yeah.
And which is obviously saying something at that university.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in and before his injury had put up one of the best freshman seasons we'd ever seen. I want to be a 2010 guy. And was a 2010 guy for them. Was clearly the best player on that team. And if he doesn't get hurt, maybe Hubert Davis is still there. Maybe that maybe the team goes different. But it's his heart. He's diving on floors. He's doing all this other stuff. And there's no question about whether or not he wants to win.
Yeah.
And then when it's so easy to juxtapose that to Peterson, right? Like for Kansas, where he's taking himself out of games.
Mm-hmm.
And he, Coach Bill Self is, kind of talking like, I don't know about this guy. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, you can't make it through 32 games, whatever it is, of a college of a college schedule without alienating your coach.
Yep.
And without people having severe questions about whether or not you really want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't even got the big money yet. Yes, you got the NIL money. That's cool.
Good amount of money.
But it's not going to be NBA money, and it's certainly not number one pick. Oh, we're going to invest you as face of franchise stuff. And I think that's my issue. My issue is if I have a question about whether or not you want to play or not, I can't do it. That guy, you don't have to worry about him playing. And so it looks like he's going to be number 4. Like from all the stuff, looks like he's going to be number 4. I thought and that goes to the Bulls. They picked up Nick Claxton kind of for nothing and just being a part of facilitating that Julius Randle trade. They're putting together a nice little roster now. Like they were kind of in the Chicago for a long time looked like they just had no idea what they're doing. Now you look, they got Bazelis, which is another guy that I hate that the Hornets missed on because if you look at Salon, he hasn't given us anything.
No.
You got Giddey, who's another guy that they picked up, they traded because OKC were just kind of overloaded with guys. And now you start looking at that roster and you're like, that's going to be a good team in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'd be a good place for it. I would never have said that before, that I wanted Caleb to go to an organization like Chicago. They seem to have kind of figured it out and gotten their head all right. So if that's where he falls, I think he's in a really, really good spot. And folks will get a chance to see him a little bit more. I think the fact that he wasn't healthy for the last 10 games of the season or whatever it ended up being, I think people kind of forgot about him, or, oh, okay, he's not this, he's not that. Man, somebody's going to get a gym, and I think it's going to be Chicago.
That's Brenden Whitted, our resident basketball guru here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodenecker producing the show. I actually just said this before you walked in studio, talking about the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, about they find the right people. And Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Carolina Panthers, has said this, is that oftentimes when you draft a player, you don't miss on the player, you miss on the person.
Yeah.
Because things that don't work out. Now, there are some times where you fail in your scouting, and they're like, okay, that's something. But generally, if you're getting drafted, there's some level of talent to it.
Right.
And that's the thing about Caleb Wilson that I have zero question about. It's his competitiveness. I see the same thing about Cam Boozer.
Yep.
Like, zero questions about that. Those are guys that you put into your locker room, zero question about that. Now, the question is, are you putting the right people around them?
Yeah. That's important.
And, like, I had Cooper Flagg, zero question about that at all. Con Knipple, zero question about that at all. Let's go with actually keep it on Caleb Wilson. The two guys that are here in the triangle that are projected top 5 picks.
Yeah,
Cam Boozer projected right now number 3, potentially number 2 to Utah, but right now projected to go number 3. Caleb Wilson projected to go number 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is my opinion. I think if the player to win now is Boozer. Wilson might be the better long-term prospect, but both are great, and I don't think you go wrong with either of them. I just think that Cam Boozer has a little bit more of a complete game right now. His ability to shoot from the outside, though he doesn't have the explosive first step to really play above the rim, which is fine. Caleb Wilson can, but he doesn't have the outside shooting yet.
It's decent, but like, you're right. Bad. It's not that, and the handle, like him consistently being able to get to a spot, pull up, and hit that. True, he is a better passer, I will say, than I had read all the high school stuff about him. He worked a high-low game.
Yeah, he's a great passer.
He's a really good. They did some stuff where they were kind of working some of their offense through him, and for a freshman to be that capable is amazing. Especially if you could talk about a 6'10" guy, he's going to be on a whole bunch of pick and roll sort of situations. You have him as a short roll passer, and so now you go ahead and cheat over if you want to off of that, weak or strong, whatever you want to do. He's going to start making the right decisions. That would alleviate a lot of the. I always equate passing to basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Because if you know where the next guy is coming from, you know where you're passing. And so if you got an idea of that, then I think you at least know what's going on. I think some guys are just super athletic, but you start talking to them about basketball and they get lost. That's not Caleb. Caleb is as an athlete. As it relates to Boozer, my only issue with him is, I have two. One, I worry about his lateral quickness.
Yes.
Because he's going to be a guy that is going to, at some point, have to guard on the perimeter. Because so many people in the league can shoot. That is what it is.
Stretch fours are the thing.
Yeah. And then also, who's his comp who is just like, you know what, I'm so glad I would pick that guy as a top 3 pick. And so sometimes, because he's good at a lot of things. He's not great at anything. And that's not a knock or anything like that. He's a well-rounded player.
He is.
Right?
I think so.
I think it's one of those two things. If you're really high on him, he's a well-rounded player. If you're not so much, then it's jack of all trades, master of none. And that's kind of just how you fall on him. Having a father that was in the NBA, that's still in the NBA. I didn't realize his dad's in Utah's front office. I didn't realize that until pretty recently.
Yeah.
But having grown up essentially in the NBA, we see these NBA kids, and they're like the second generation of NBA players, and they just seem to kind of get a little bit more. They understand the professionalism, right? To your point about, we can put him and fit him in the locker room. Well, if you had a father or a mother that's been telling you, hey, here's how you be a professional in basketball, I think you are a huge leg up in all this stuff.
Here's how you handle your money.
Here's how you handle your money.
Especially NIL in college. Guys that can handle their money in college can handle their money, at least my prediction, can handle their money in the NBA.
A lot better. And I don't know if you catch any of these podcasts, but it's been just a glutton of NBA players talking about how $5 million in anything is $6 million. And so now they're hurting a little bit on the pockets. And you're like, Hey, bro, that's the problem. Wasn't the money. The problem was you weren't prepared for it.
It's the person.
It's the and that's that stuff. But like the other part is Boozer was able to just manhandle guys. He was mauling guys in college. Talking about grown men now.
Oh yeah.
How's that going to work? How's your offense going to translate if you can't just move somebody? He was moving cats out of the way. Now, he's a strong guy. His father was the same thing. And I'll say this. I was a little concerned about his father because when Carlos came out, I was like, is this going to translate? Because you're 6'8", and at that time, that was a tweener, right? Like that. We don't even use that word anymore, really. But like at that time, he was a tweener. You're like 6'8". Well, he's not a small forward because he doesn't have that kind of quickness. But is he a banger? Like those 6'10", everybody was starting 6'10" guys and above at that 4. But to his credit, Boozer carved out a really nice career because he was still stronger than Knox. His son might be the exact same way.
He might be. That's Brenden Whitted joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodenecker producing the show today. I hate the fact that the Charlotte Hornets, again, the NBA draft this night. I hate the Hornets that are picking 14.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, can we get a top 10? But it feels like, again, all the people, all the experts say like this is if you're picking 14 in this draft, ain't a bad thing. At least in terms of like you can still find somebody that can contribute. You can still find somebody. They also picked number 18 as well.
Yeah.
Kobe White's still a pending free agent.
Yeah.
There's the Miles Bridges out there who's on an expiring contract, which I'm not gonna lie, an expiring contract is like gold.
It's
in
like
the
gold
NBA.
now.
I was
man.
like, it's like I don't get it, but hey, it's what it is. But you have an 18th pick, you have the 14th pick, you have the expiring contract, and not a bad player, Miles Bridges, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad player at all. What gets moved? What gets moved before 8 p.m. tonight? Or maybe even after the draft?
I was about to say, I don't know if Bridges gets moved tonight. I think it's hard for me to believe that they're not going to move him sometime this offseason. Packaging him with a 14, with an 18. Here's my thing about them picking both. I don't really want them to pick both. It's a timeline issue as much as anything. When you come into the league, you got to learn all stuff about the NBA, yeah. But you also need to be a little bit selfish because everyone's trying to get to that second contract.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm fighting for this, but B. Miller's still on that contract, Knipple's still on that contract, you're still trying to find your way. Maybe that doesn't work with everybody trying to develop at the same time all the time. Like if you were to pair them with another veteran, perhaps someone who's done a little bit more winning. There really is anybody on that roster that's done any sort of real winning for any sort of real thing. Like, yeah. So no one that plays minutes that you're talking about has won anything. I'd love to bring in someone that was more comfortable. It's obvious that we need front court help. So the guys that you've heard, or at least that I've heard the most about, are Haynes Steinbeck.
Yeah.
He went to Washington. Very
freshman.
Very quality numbers. 18 and a half, almost 12 rebounds a game, 6'10", 245, a legitimate 4, right? Like we played small all year. The Hornets play small all year. Miles Bridges is a small 4. He's like a 6'8". He's a strong guy, but he's shorter.
It's kind of like that tweener.
He really is kind of like that tweener. He really is. Diabate. Love Diabate.
You don't talk about dude that's like, I'm going to go get them rebounds.
I want to go get he reminds you of Rodman, like on court Rodman. I should probably preference this on court Rodman, but that's in terms of his energy level, his offensive rebounding percentage numbers are out of this world. He was so good offensive rebounding that he even created a certain amount of gravity. We talk about gravity with 3-point shooters. Guys were real hesitant to leave him because if they were to step up, man, he's going right to the middle of that cup. He's got so much energy, and he's a lob threat, which if you pair a lob threat with LaMelo Ball, he's going to find you.
Yeah.
So both Miles Bridges and him have that in common. But it was very obvious towards the end of the season they needed more just size. Kalkbrenner was good for them. The backup center, he's 7 feet tall. He's got to get stronger. And he's just not ready to play at that level. Led the rookies in blocks, was a really good rim protector, but he's not ready for them to do what I think they need to do, which is make the next step to the playoffs. He's not ready for that. You want to bring in a veteran for that. But if they're going to take him, if they're going to take someone at 14, Steinbeck is who I heard the most about. I'm not sure about Mara for Michigan. He's a guy that I've seen fall to us at 14.
Oh, Dame Mara, the center from Michigan?
Yeah, I'm not – he's 7'3" is amazing.
Can't teach that.
He only averaged like 6.5 rebounds a game last year. And
if you're
like,
7'3" and you're only averaging 6.5 rebounds in college basketball, that's a problem.
And that is the thing that because I saw him play several times. Obviously, we all did. You know, they go on that run, and I saw them play a lot, and I just was like, "You're big. You are certainly bigger than everybody."
Mm-hmm.
That isn't going to be enough at the next level, and so I have a little bit of hesitancy. And then when I started looking through his rebounding numbers, I just wasn't blown away. And then for the 18th pick, Alan, I think it's Alan Graves. He's
from Santa Clara.
Yeah, he's more of a 6'8". He's got really good efficiency numbers in terms of, you know, he can shoot from deep and stuff like that. But again, I just don't know if that's what we don't need another rookie. We don't need more rookies on this team. We need a proven winner, a proven star, someone that can win games for us, and we haven't really had that in the front court so far this year.
Who's available that they can get for the Charlotte Hornets? For the Charlotte Hornets to get the guy that you're talking about, again, you have a couple assets: 14th pick, 18th pick, Miles Bridges. Like there's some. Even if you want to trade another one of your young guys, I get it. So who actually is available out there that they can realistically go get to take them from, hey, we're a play-in team that had a really, really fun win at home, to actually, hey, we're a 5 seed or a 4 seed?
So this guy's become available, and I've seen it more and more. Trey Murphy from the Pelicans. Guys probably haven't watched a ton of him. Now he's 6'10". He's not like your traditional power forward because he does have the ability to stretch out and knock down that three. He's got the handle. He has the athleticism. I don't know what the asking price for that guy's going to be because he's got star written all over him. So I don't want to give away the shot for him because obviously he can't lift your franchise by himself. Otherwise, they would have done more winning in New Orleans. But that guy would be at the top of my list. Other guys, Robert Williams is going to be available. He has had his injury stuff, but was relatively healthy in Portland. I don't know if he's the same lob threat that he was, but he's still defensively really, really good. Daniel Gafford is another guy that, you know, Dallas is just kind of their roster construction doesn't really make any sense between him, Lively, Cooper Flagg's probably going to still play some 4 and 5 for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just are kind of
coming back.
Yeah. I mean, he just doesn't really fit in that. So Gafford wouldn't be terrible. Again, you have to look at what the price tag is going to be to get him because they're going to want to offload him because they just have too many guys that play at that 4 or 5 position. He's more of an offensive player though, and I think they do need a rim protector if you're going to start making moves to get guys at the center position. That's somebody. Now, a guy North Carolina people will recognize is Walker Kessler.
Oh yeah,
he is a guy that seems to be available. He's rejected a couple of Utah's extension talks. I don't know if this is just him playing hardball, if that's really what they want. I wouldn't have a problem with him. He has a nice back to the basket game. He's a legitimate player. I don't know if he's really leaving or if that's just kind of just smoke. You know, like it's hard to determine some of this stuff. So I think, and Hartenstein is obviously I think he is a free agent this year. And so I don't know how much they're going to want to spend on him. He's never a big time scorer, but if you pair him, talk about short roll guys, if you pair him with a guy like LaMelo Ball, he'll be worth it. They'd have to get bigger. They got to get stronger up front.
That's Brenden Whitted, our basketball guru here on the Adam Gold Show. Give him a follow at HU Cosell.
Appreciate you.
Couple of things I want to ask you about real quick. A couple players. We only have about like 4 minutes left here.
Yeah.
There are a couple other guys. We talked about Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson. Boozer from Duke, Wilson from North Carolina. There are a couple other guys that might go in the first round today as well. Isaiah Evans, as well as Henry Vasar as well.
Yeah.
To me, I think those guys are projected to go in the 20s.
Yeah.
I think whomever lands them, because again, those are teams that were in the playoffs generally, unless there's trades and all that kind of stuff, swaps, whatever it might be. But those guys, in my opinion, are going to land on some pretty good teams. It might be some pretty decent role players right from the get-go. I think Isaiah Evans, between he and Vasar, probably has the highest upside. I know they play like completely different positions, but I like his upside as a player.
I said this talking to Gold a couple times. If he ended up being the best player on off that Duke team, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, even over Boozer, because that I know. That's a 3-and-D guy. That's a guy that can go create his own shot. His athleticism jumps off the page. Like, yes, I know he had a bit of an up-and-down season. That's true. I think he had a little bit of a slow start or midway through, like, slow start to the ACC season. He can really flat-out play. He can shoot and go get his own. Vesser, I fell in love with him, and so the UNC fan in me does shout out. Obviously, he's a little bit lighter in terms of you're not going to be throwing him the ball in the post and having him work, even though he is a skilled player. But that pick and pop, and again, as you mentioned, these guys aren't going to be starters probably. No. They're going to be guys that are coming off the bench, maybe for a good team, and so somebody's going to get a really good player. And just really quickly, since we're on ACC. Okoji out of Stanford. He's projected to be somewhere in the 20s at the back end of the first round. Okay. That dude can hoop, man. Yeah. He can hoop. I liked a whole bunch about him. He's 6'1", and there's a glutton of guards that are going to be taking ahead of him. So he's going to drop in the first. I think he'll still get picked in the first, but as a backup, I think you be getting a high basketball IQ guy. He's not a great athlete, but he's a guy that plays with pace. And guys that play with pace, you don't have to be a great athlete because you're always making the defense off balance, and he makes good decisions. Dude was ACC leading scorer this year. I think it was about 23, 4, and 4. Dude can hoop.
By the way, with Henry Vesar, you can't teach 6'11", 7 foot, and shoot from the outside. You just can't. Again, I think he'll be a perfect role player. Yeah. 20 minutes a night, you shoot 40% from three. Yeah. Teams covet that kind of thing, again, Absolutely. As a role player. All right, final thing here, Brenden Whitted joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold today. Real quick, by about 2 minutes. Dusty May to Dallas to the Mavericks. Who saw that coming? I didn't. Yeah. But also, apparently, they went after John Shire as well.
I was about to say, it seemed like they made the decision they wanted a college coach. Like, that's a surprise because neither of those guys seemed like they were leaving, right? One just won a title, and the other one looks like he's about to win a title.
Dusty May was coaching at FAU just 2 years ago.
That is
let's call it what it was. Like he spent 2 years at Michigan. He spent the previous 6 at FAU.
I think it's hard to not realize that this is going to be Cooper Flagg's team, and I would love to know whether or not he had any sort of input on this because you're not that pressed. If this was a veteran-led squad that they planned on remaining a veteran-led squad, there's absolutely no way you go get a college coach, right? Like there's some teams like if you had the Knicks, you wouldn't. Obviously, they just won a title, but you wouldn't go get a college coach. If you're the Celtics, you're not about to go get a college coach.
No,
they obviously are. We're in full rebuild mode. I wonder what that means for Kyrie. We're in full rebuild mode. We're going to go get somebody young and that can grow with Cooper Flagg as we kind of figure this whole thing out. They're obviously gaffers on the chopping block. There are going to be everybody's probably available outside of Flagg. And so if you've got a guy who would be a junior now in college, having a college coach who by all accounts is like really just affable, able to have real connections with folks, I mean, you go college.
He actually will be a sophomore in college. Because remember, he left high school early.
Oh, right, that's man. Right. Yeah, that's right. He reclassified, didn't he?
Reclassified.
Yeah,
so last year should have been his freshman year in college.
Crazy. He's going to be so good.
I know. The sky's the limit for that
I'm so glad he left Duke, man.
You as a UNC fan, yes, I believe it. I believe it, but they just keep restocking.
Yeah, they do.
But
whatever.
I mean, we've seen Dusty May now going from Michigan to the NBA. Michael Malone just won an NBA title just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Now going to college.
I think it's been 7 years since somebody went straight from college to the NBA in terms of the head coaches.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot about the coaches and just them not wanting to deal with the college stuff that's going around with the NIL, with people moving constantly. It feels like a lot of complaining just to complain, but there does seem to be a real sort of anger about it, which has led to some of this legislation getting proposed.
Who knows where college sports is going? And you know what? I don't blame a coach for wanting to get out of it because it's like, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm keep having to trying to hit a moving target that I don't think that's even the target I'm supposed to be shooting at. I don't know.
But the NBA comes with its own set of stuff though, which I think is kind of getting late. Like, oh well, at least I can just coach. Good luck, buddy.
There are a lot of personalities.
There's a lot of, and they're all making more than you, which is different from college, where it's like, oh well, I'm the face of John Shire is the face of.
He is.
Yeah. But once you leave and you go to Dallas Mac, well, you're no longer the face anymore, partner. Like now you middle management. That's a completely different vibe.
JJ Redick ain't the face of the Lakers.
No, he's not.
It might not even be LeBron.
Isn't it crazy that LeBron's a free agent and he's not even being mentioned? Like it's all been about Giannis. It's all been, which is fair, but like this is the first free agency that he's had where he's getting less press than damn near Austin Reeves, man. Like it's crazy.
Wild times. Julius Randle got traded. He's getting more attention than LeBron. It's just I think
to the Nets. I'm sorry, my guy. that team's going to be awful. Be fun to watch, though, because it's going to be that bad.
What's your man from UNC that was drafted there last year? To the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, and now I'm blanking. Good job, Brendan.
I'm blanking too. It's all right.
Yeah, well, that's just gonna have to lay. It's just gonna have to lie right there because for the life of me, I can't figure it out. And I can see his face, and it's not helping me out at all.
I'm gonna find this.
Okay,
I'm gonna find this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna find this.
No problem at all.
Out of University of North Carolina because they had Derek Whitehead was on the team. Go figure. Not Cam Johnson.
No.
Why can't I find this? It just, like someone's in our comment section just gonna be like, yelling at us right now. But he was the first. He was picked like 25 or whatever it was. I'm not talking Dayron Sharp either, obviously, because even though he's on the team.
Yeah, I'm blanking hard body on this one.
You know what? It's what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's Brenden Whitted. Someone's going to be in the comments just yelling at us here. In just
if they're not in the comments yelling, did you do your job?
No. No, you didn't.
I never read the comments. That's just don't read the comments. It's never worth it.
It's never worth it.
It's never positive.
Drake Powell.
Thank you. Yes.
Drake Powell.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That team is. They're obviously got Michael Porter Jr. and Julius, like guys that just don't get in terms of their game. I don't mean them personally. Their games aren't going to mesh, right? But Randall will at least get the ISO stuff that he wants to do, and he's a better passer than he's given credit for. He's averages about 5 a game for his career. 5 assists a game for his career. So if you want to run it through him, it doesn't matter. Like the Nets very clearly aren't close to winning. They're willing to take on maybe some difficult contracts. Like I've always had a soft spot for Julius Randle, but that team is just a combination of parts.
At HUCosell, give him a follow. That's Brenden Whitted, our basketball guru here on the Adam Gold Show. Thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely, man. No
appreciate
problem.
it. It's the Adam Gold Show. There are picks that are going to be made tonight, and we're going to make our own picks after we stretch next year on the Adam Gold Show.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
He scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It is the biggest stage in the world, the most popular sporting event on the planet. Billions of people, not hundreds of millions, billions of people. And FanDuel changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them, but not with FanDuel. If your guy, let's just say he's a striker that plays in the Saudi Pro League, he gets subbed off and they bring on a winger who plays in the Premier League, you get that guy instead of the guy who went back home maybe to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local. Come on. It's the biggest sporting event on earth. FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our American dream is ice cream. Red, White, and Bluebell is our strawberry ice cream loaded with strawberries, alongside creamy vanilla and blueberry ice cream with real blueberries. A full half-gallon of red, white, and blue ice cream. Feel free to celebrate.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Are you ready to make a difference? Become Mental Health First Aid Certified with the Governor's Institute. This free one-day training will give you the skills to recognize, understand, and respond to mental health and substance use challenges. Whether you're a friend, coworker, or caregiver, you can be the support someone needs. The training is available in person or online and is open to everyone. No experience required. Take the first step today. Visit milvetacademy.org to learn more.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
From William, what does Jarvie need to do to get going?
Candy, like sour worms.
Oh, for sure. He's probably one of those psychos that likes warheads.
Yeah, nerds. He would eat those. Yeah, get a whole bag of those, Seth. Go nuts.
Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
If you missed any part of the Adam Gold Show, make sure you subscribe to the Adam Gold Show wherever you discover your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, you name it, it's out there. Best of the Adam Gold Show. Also, you can subscribe, follow on 99.9 The Fan's YouTube page. 99.9 The Fan is the flagship station in Raleigh for the Adam Gold Show. By the way, Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodenecker producing the show today. You just search the Adam Gold Show on YouTube, or you can search 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe there. You can watch the show. You can always, the live streams are always right there, so you can go back and listen to something, keep receipts. If I say something, hey, I was wrong, I'm okay with receipts being kept. I have no problem with it, Victoria.
Yeah.
So videos, clips from the show, anything, interact with on our YouTube live channel as well.
Hey, and one of my favorites, cornbread. We talk recipes.
Cornbread, yeah.
We talk recipes.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's the recipe for making some good picks, making some good bets? We'll have that in just a second. But Victoria, the recipe for good health, or part of that, is making sure we stretch.
It sure is. And speaking of good health and food, I thought this was funny. I just read this article about how some World Cup fans who are here,
yes,
they are going to be taking back more than just souvenirs.
Oh, go on.
Because there's now a thing called the FIFA 15. Like the freshman 15 when people go to college, because on the interwebs people are talking about all of the food that they are discovering here. And of course, ranch has been a big, like,
oh, really?
Yes.
I hate ranch. I hate it.
Do you?
Gross.
Now, I don't eat it like a lot of people do, but like if there's fried pickles or a good like seasoned tater tot, I feel like ranch is perfect for that. But yeah, the people who are not from America are loving ranch. They're also loving barbecue sauce. But that's not it. They're loving all kinds of things, because some social media clips, videos of foreigners just going wild in America. Ranch, fast food places like Dunkin', Raising Cane's, which I still have not tried yet, but I need to, apparently. Chipotle.
I've seen Cookout.
Yes.
People doing Whataburger. There's a whole bunch of different stuff, depending on where you are in the country.
Right.
Chick-fil-A.
There's a guy who, and I can't think of what his name is, but I talked about him during a 7th inning like a week or two ago, and he found Buc-ee's, which I can say, after seeing Buc-ee's a couple times now.
I have not experienced a Buc-ee's.
Oh, it is an experience. It is definitely an adventure. So, yeah, we need one of those. We need the Mebane one to open up ASAP. But, yeah, things like that. Pizza also has been big, which And, people are now trying to figure out how they can take things home, like sauce packets and snacks and even booze. That's not going to happen, though, if you're taking a flight.
No, that definitely won't happen.
Like the sauces, you might be able to take the little ones. Go to Cookout. That's another place they need to go to.
I've seen people do Cookout and all that stuff before.
Oh, yeah. So
this is where I wish we had a World Cup venue. I wish Bank of America was a World Cup venue.
Yeah.
Because you get people here like coming to the state of North Carolina to try North Carolina barbecue, whether that's Lexington style, Eastern style, whatever it might be. And just, hey, here's a cheer wine. Here's all the different stuff.
Oh.
Here's Krispy Kreme.
Yes.
Here's some Texas Pete. Like all the different things that are produced and made here in the state of North Carolina. I think it'd be pretty awesome. But it's really is fun to see people from out of the country coming here and experience different aspects of the culture in America. There were a bunch of English soccer fans that went to a rodeo in Texas.
Oh, fun.
And just like took over the rodeo.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's awesome.
I love that.
I love it. There was like fans from Japan in Texas riding a mechanical bull.
Yes.
Like, that's cool.
Let's
But
go.
then you see people from Scotland coming in, like they got the kilts and the bagpipes and all that kind of
Now they have cowboy boots.
Awesome. Yes. But they're doing those kinds of things, and I think it's really cool to see the cultures blend together. That's the joy of it. Part of the joy of the World Cup.
That's why it's fun to travel and kind of immerse yourself in the culture. You
Yes.
know what else is fun?
What?
Making good bets.
Place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
All right, Victoria, on the Adam Gold Show, I am legally and contractually obligated to make a soccer bet. So I'm going to go World Cup, England versus Ghana. Harry Kane of England, first goal scorer today, plus 235.
Okay. Well, we shall see how that goes. Now, yesterday, I bet on my Cubs. They're taking on the Mets. And, Adam's not here to see me bet against them. But it was a rain delay yesterday. So today, they're going to try it again because it was delayed for June, I think a couple days from now, maybe tomorrow. So give me my Cubbies to win. And I'm going to take the over 8.5. That's plus 240.
I'm going to parlay Croatia beating Panama and Colombia beating the Democratic Republic of Congo. That parlay together plus 127 in the World Cup.
Oh, nice. And, a fun team to watch. I've seen them a couple times. The Tampa Bay Rays are taking on the Royals. So give me the Rays to win at home, and I'm going to take the over 8, which is plus 165.
Give me England and Ghana over 3.5 goals scored today. That's a plus 145. Over 3.5 goals scored today. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold. There are big trades happening in the NBA last night and into the early hours of this morning. The Wall of Sound about those NBA moves next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Excuse me, you think you could spare a square?
Sorry, what?
A square on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah, for the 99.9 The Fan app.
Exactly. Listen to your favorite hosts, teams, and live sports action.
The Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere.
Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
It's Men's Health Month. WakeMed Primary Care wants to remind you to schedule your annual checkup. It's important to know your health numbers related to cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight, and BMI before it leads to chronic diseases. Focus on your health and preventing disease by building healthy habits and getting that yearly checkup and those screenings that you've been putting off. To schedule your appointment, visit wakemed.org. Once again, that's wakemed.org.
It's like going back to school. You don't want to go back to school because it's going to take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, but just getting started is the hardest part. And guys, that's why you need to sit down and talk to a financial advisor right now. You need to call Coach Pete and get your money right. Start today.
Do some basic financial training, huh?
Yeah.
It's about like working out is one of those things. Everyone says, well, I need to get in better shape. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yep.
But the minute, and you put it off. But the minute you start feeling better. You start feeling good about yourself. I had a friend in high school, Brett Morgan. He said, Coach, I feel good about myself. myself today. And so you can feel good about yourself forever if you get the right plan that is in line with what you want to have happen, not what your broker wants to have happen. So let's put a total retirement plan together. I've been doing this 33 years, Amanda. Kind of know what I'm doing. I'm a retirement income certified professional. Let's put a plan together for you and your family that works. Text now, and we'll put you front of the line, no cost.
Text Amanda to 600-700. That's Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
Facilities managers think inside the box with Eagle Leasing, formerly Containers for Less. Our ground-level storage and office containers are the way to go. I'm Mike Eagle. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
If it was up to me, I'm sure I wouldn't want to get out of this until we, raise it again for everyone that deserves it here. We talked about the fans. They need it again. They deserve it. And then the guys in there that haven't tasted that, or they need it too. So I think we'll see. That does, it's out of your control a lot. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be around here until we can raise that one more time.
Well, you already did. You already raised it. Maybe they'll raise it again.
I hope so. Back-to-backs. Let's go.
There's a lot going on in the NHL world right now. There's a lot of rumors. Of course, there's always rumors. It's rumor season, Victoria.
It is.
It's rumor season in the NBA. It's rumor season in the NHL. Everyone loves rumor season. Like, oh, what? Well, apparently this team's interested in that. Do they offer this player, this draft pick, maybe these prospects and all the things that go along with it? Maybe. Well, what if this? It's what if season, Victoria.
It is.
It's what if. Well, what if this player gets drafted here? What if they trade this pick for that guy? What if season? Everyone loves what if season. By the way, it's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodnecker producing the show as always. And last night, the what ifs went away for a couple of NBA players. Now it's what was or what is, not what if. It's what was as we get to the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, the NBA last night. By the way, the NBA draft tonight, 8 o'clock. First round is tonight. Tomorrow, second round. And one of the biggest names that's been floating around and talk about the what-if category, Victoria, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks, or we should say formerly of the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's actually go to the Bobby Marks cut here, Victoria, about the reaction to Giannis being traded from the Milwaukee Bucks to the Miami Heat. And it was a massive trade. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's Bobby Portis going down to Miami. Back comes Tyler Hero and like 3 other players. There's 3 first-round picks. There's a swap. There's a second-round pick. It's a massive trade. Bobby Marks, ESPN, the reaction to Giannis being traded to Miami.
There's some work to do. There really is. I think when you look at it, and getting Bobby Portis back in the deal certainly helps your front court here, but I think it potentially could cost you Norman Powell, your all-star from last year, who is a unrestricted free agent. Remember, we deal with these apron rules, right? Miami now becomes hard capped at the first apron. They're limited as far as what they can go out and offer Norman Powell in the deal. And when you look at their backcourt is a little bit depleted here. They need a little bit more front court help, and they've got about 5 roster spots to go out and fill to try to compete with Boston and New York and teams like that. So there's work to do for Pat Riley, despite getting Giannis in this trade.
So that's part of it. But again, you get one of the best players in the NBA, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, if you're Miami. Now, again, you kind of deplete your resources, because you have 4 players go, 3 first-round picks. There's a pick. So there's just a lot that's leaving. But what does it do for a team like Milwaukee? That is clearly reset mode. By the way, Milwaukee won an NBA title just a few seasons ago with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, among others, and they tried to make the big splash move to get Damian Lillard. That did not work out. And they kind of gutted their roster a bit to make a big move like that. Well, Bobby Marks, ESPN, what this Giannis move provides in terms of clarity for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Finally. I think clarity, I think that was the other word when I talked with NBA teams tonight. We've got clarity. I think we've got clarity for Milwaukee. I think this was long overdue. I thought this could have potentially happened at the trade deadline, and I think there's some clarity with Miami as far as the direction that the Heat are going to go in. And I think looking back on where the Bucks were in February and where they are right now, they did really well for themselves. Really well. This was not the package that was offered back in February. This is a team that had only Giannis on their roster. He's the only player that was drafted in the first round on their roster. Now they have the 13th pick. They've got the 10th pick also. They've got 2 future picks. They've got some nice young players to build around, and I think it gives both teams a sense of direction as far as where they're going to go with this offseason here.
There's so many moving parts when it comes to the NBA right now. We get the draft coming up tonight. But when you look at the East, obviously this impacts the Charlotte Hornets because the Miami Heat, that's who you're competing with, right? In order to get through the playoffs and so forth, right? So it directly impacts you. So Richard Jefferson of ESPN discusses what the Giannis trade makes Miami in terms of where they stand in the East.
On the Miami side, I feel like they've given up so much. They did get a lot, but now just because you have a talented player, you have to structure the team. You have to now build an elite team around Giannis, and you've given away a ton of assets. Are they going to be elite next year? I think that they are a top 4 team, in my opinion, going into next year. If everyone's healthy, if they could do it, but they still have a lot of room that they have to fill out on the Miami side.
All right, so Miami gets Giannis. One of the teams that was in, apparently, on Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks is the Boston Celtics. Reportedly, Jaylen Brown, along with 2 first-round picks, were offered, reportedly, again, it may not be exact, but that's what I've seen, that reportedly Jaylen Brown of the Celtics, along with 2 first-round picks, were offered to Milwaukee for Giannis. And Evan Cohen, ESPN, friend of this program, host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, said the Bucks picking the Miami Heat offer over the Boston Celtics offer for Jaylen Brown and 2 firsts, a little bit mind-numbing.
I would have done the Jaylen Brown deal. Then I would have tried to send him specifically to San Antonio. Then I would have called Philadelphia and said, all right, what do you want for Embiid? What? You're going to take Embiid? Yep, we're going to take Embiid. We're going to give you Kuzma and Turner to match the numbers, and you're going to now give us at least 1 first-rounder for our troubles of taking on the worst contract in the league. And now I'm going to end up with about 6 or 7 first-rounders, De'Aaron Fox and Joel Embiid, who actually could make me good enough to not be a joke this year when I don't have my pick. So I actually get more picks than I would have gotten with Miami, and I may have a better team than I would have had with the Miami guys. I don't get the Milwaukee approach at all to not take the Boston offer.
Okay, well, why didn't they take the Boston offer? Shams Charania, ESPN, why the Celtics couldn't get a Giannis deal done.
The Celtics offered Jaylen Brown, the 2024 Finals MVP, and I'm told 2 unprotected
first-round draft picks. And so the holdup in those conversations ultimately became the Bucs wanted more assets. They wanted a couple young players, Ugo Gonzalez, Baylor Shireman, potentially others. They wanted more first-round picks, more swaps. But was there a middle ground to be had? But at the end of the day, my understanding is the Celtics were not willing to part with enough young players and assets to get a deal done. The offer stood as Jaylen Brown and a couple first-round picks. So now, if you're Boston, there is going to be fallout from this, some hard conversations, because for the second time in 4 years, the Celtics have offered Jaylen Brown, their co-star with Jason Tatum, in a trade. Back in 2022, the Celtics offered Jaylen Brown in a package for Kevin Durant, now for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so the tables are a little different now because Jaylen Brown is a Finals MVP. He just came off a year where he was a MVP finalist as well. And so there are going to be some conversations now moving forward. Jaylen Brown is extension eligible in July. We'll see where things go from here.
Yeah, there's that aspect of all this. I think Sham Charania brings up. That's a great point that we sometimes or oftentimes overlook is the fact that the player that was dangled as part of the trade, you think they don't hear about it from an agent or from other people? Like, stuff gets back to them. They're human. Stuff gets back to them. Hey, I heard you guys were trying to get rid of me. Well, you know, we value you. Oh, I heard you were trying to get rid of me. So do you value me at all? Or maybe you don't value me enough. So that's where things can be a little bit tense. Sometimes players and people are able to compartmentalize, saying, hey, look, I understand it's a business. But if I'm here, I'm going to be committed to being here while I'm here. But if I get moved somewhere else, I'm going to be committed to that other place. Or if I choose to move, if I'm a free agent, to go to that other place and commit to that. People have the ability to compartmentalize, but we are human. It's like, oh, you were trying to choose him over me. Even though I just had, like Sham Charania said from Jaylen Brown, I just said I was an MVP candidate this season. And you're trying to get rid of me? Like, oh, guess what? Am I not good enough? Like, that's the human element to all this. I'm curious to see what happens, Victoria. Curious to see what happens tonight with the NBA draft.
Yeah.
The NBA's got so many trades and stuff that happen on draft night. It's kind of
wild.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vonecker producing the show. Real quick note of business here, Victoria. We're going to shift focus here for just a quick moment to college football. So week 0 of the college football season, August 29th, that's Saturday. University of North Carolina is facing TCU in Ireland. That's going to kick off the season. That same day, the University of Virginia was supposed to take on North Carolina State, NC State, in a football game, week 0 as well. That game was supposed to be played down in Brazil. Well, the Brazil plans fell through. That game was also, again, supposed to be played August 29th, 3:30 on ESPN, right after North Carolina versus TCU on ESPN as well. So 2 international games involving 2 schools from right here in the state of North Carolina, which I think is awesome, by the way. So the Brazil location thing did not work out for NC State and Virginia. So UVA was set to be the home team for that game. So the game's going to be played up in Charlottesville. Well, the ACC just sent out a press release literally 8 minutes ago, that NC State and Virginia football game confirmed for week 0 following an NCAA waiver approval. So I guess they had to, well, you heard right there, get a waiver approval from the NCAA in order to keep their time slot and to play that week 0 contest as originally scheduled, though it's in a different location just up the road in Charlottesville from NC State. So that game, again, the announcement came on June 3rd that NC State-Virginia was not going to happen in Brazil, but that game still needed to take place. So now it's officially confirmed, 3:30 Eastern, ESPN in Charlottesville, NC State at UVA. Week 0 to kick off the college football season. Right after North Carolina plays TCU in Dublin.
Right.
Noon Eastern time. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of that.
Mm-hmm. It's sick.
Gosh, you know, August 29th. Today's the 23rd. We're 2 months.
Yeah.
We're 2 months and we have college football.
It feels like you blink, and there it is.
Games being played.
Mm-hmm.
2 months from now, games being played.
Yep. That's crazy.
Thank you, Carolina Hurricanes, for shortening the offseason window for
Big
us.
time.
Speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, Victoria. Speaking of, it's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Votenecker producing the show today. We're powering through here on this Tuesday. At least I know I am, Victoria. Yesterday was my birthday, and so I took the day off. And my fiance and I just got to hang out for a little while. Well, she's been under the weather for a few days.
It's not fun.
It's not. She's been under the weather since Friday, I'd say. I finally got it. So I joke. I said for my birthday, she got me sick.
Yeah.
That's what she got me for my birthday. She got me sick. But hey, you know what? Start off year 40 for me. Start off on a little sick note. It's only going to get easier from
right. It's only up from here now. So.
But we're powering through.
There you go.
We're powering through.
It's funny with the sickness stuff. It's like no matter how hard you try,
it's going to get you.
I know. You feel like you're safe, and nope. Get you.
It's going to get you. So I know we've talked about here on the Adam Gold Show. We've mentioned it a few times today. But if you haven't already, subscribe to the Adam Gold Show on YouTube. Just search the Adam Gold Show on YouTube or search 99.9 The Fan. 99.9 The Fan is the flagship station of the Adam Gold Show, located in Raleigh. We actually we stream the show live on YouTube. So for everyone out there that can watch this, they can participate no matter where you are. You can take it with you wherever you go. Also, there's the 99.9 The Fan app available on your App Store, Google Play. You can download it, and you can take the show with you for free. It's free. That's the cool thing about it. It is free. So you can always listen to the show. You can always chime in, and we appreciate people chiming in. Victoria, there are some people in our YouTube live chat that are asking some pretty interesting questions regarding the Carolina Hurricanes, and I want to address those because it's really easy for the Carolina Hurricanes this offseason to basically do nothing.
Yeah.
You just won a championship.
Right.
But there's one thing you always have to keep in mind, even for a team that just won a title. There's still one thing you have to keep in mind, and we'll discuss that in 4 minutes.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
After 20 years, the wait is over.
5 seconds away. Played out. And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup. It's yours, Carolina.
Such a great story with this team. I mean, you dig into it, it's amazing, and I'm just really proud.
Your official home for the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, biggest sporting event in the world going on right now in North America, and we'll be dealing with it every day, basically, until the middle of July. Frankly, I love it. And FanDuel's got a great idea. It's called the Super Sub, because you can bet an anytime goal scorer, and if that guy comes off in the 60th minute, you're out of luck, right? Not with FanDuel, because you get the guy who subs on for him. For instance, the Three Lions had a winger who played last year at Newcastle, next year will play at Barcelona. He was subbed off in the 72nd minute without scoring. The guy who subbed on for him, who played last year at Barcelona and might again, he scored. So if you did the FanDuel Super Sub, you got that guy. So you're a winner. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Adam with Rush Hour Karting here. The last time the Canes came as a team in race was 2006, the year they won the first cup. They came again this year, 20 years later, won the cup again. Rush Hour Karting brings out the best in people. Congratulations, Canes! We're Stanley Cup winners 2026. Woo!
Hi, friends. This is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. I get it. You don't wake up excited to schedule car maintenance. Between work, school, family activities, and everything else life throws your way, it can be tough to find the time. That's why I'm excited to share that beginning July 11th, our University Place and Crabtree locations will be open Saturdays from 8 to 5. Now you'll have one more option for taking care of your vehicle. Schedule your Saturday appointment today at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
There's so much to love about North Carolina, but
We all want more. More boundless views, more pristine scenery, more wildlife, more adventures, and more clean roads to get there. But to get more, we have to do less. Less littering, that is. Properly disposing of waste is never a waste of time. It leads to a more enjoyable environment for much longer. So, when traveling in North Carolina, make it your nature to trash your trash. Leave it more beautiful than when you found it. And we will all have more reasons to love NC. Litter less, get more. For more on the 7 outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles, visit OutdoorNC.com. Sponsored by the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters and Visit North Carolina. Part of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina, in cooperation with this station.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is Adam Gold.
540.
Yeah.
Right, the big outer belt loop. Why don't we just call them inner loop and outer loop? Don't give me north, south, east. It changes. It's a circle.
Yeah, they should. They use it for belly buttons.
Right, inner and outer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Use it for belt lines.
All right, I'm done with the rant.
The Adam Gold Show.
I will not discuss if I have an innie or an outie. That is a private matter.
Secrets we don't need to know.
That is a private discussion. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodnecker producing the show. As always, coming up here in about 10, 11 minutes, Julian McKenzie of The Athletic. We're going to have a conversation with him regarding the state of the NHL right now in terms of how players are realizing the power in which they have, which I have no problem doing that. I mean, I think us as people that are employed by an employer, want loyalty, the employee does, but at the same time, you have to go into the best situation that's for you. We're no different. So I understand that aspect of things. I genuinely do. And just discuss not only that, but also the Ottawa Senators trading their captain to the Florida Panthers who are in their division, by the way, for 3 first-round picks and a second. It's a lot of draft capital. Didn't get a player in return, though. What's the ripple effect from that? Because I don't think that the Ottawa Senators, by the way, they have 3 first-round picks this season now, which, by the way, the draft is in a couple days. 26th, 27th is when the NHL draft is taking place. But I think, we're going to have that conversation regarding what the trickle-down, the ripple effect is for the Carolina Hurricanes. Or not just across the league, and also how that impacts the Carolina Hurricanes. Because, Victoria, I said this before going to break last segment, is that there's one thing that all teams, especially teams that win a championship, there's one thing you always have to assume. Now, I generally don't like to make assumptions, but I think this is a good one to make. You always assume that your competition is getting better.
Yeah, you should.
Always assume that your competition is getting better.
Because that's what everybody wants to do.
Sure.
Get better.
I mean, you have to anticipate that their young players are going to grow just like your own, that they're going to acquire other talent, whatever it might be. You always have to anticipate that your opponent, your competition, is going to get better. So even for the Carolina Hurricanes, who are fresh off hoisting the Stanley Cup, still have to anticipate that teams are getting better. The Florida Panthers are better than what they were literally 3 days ago. They're better because they added Brady Tkachuk and didn't lose a current player on their roster. You look at their top 9 forwards, their top 4 defensemen, it's pretty loaded. Now, granted, they don't have a goalie under contract for next season. So there's questions of Sergei Bobrovsky and those kinds of things. So again, how do these things reverberate around the NHL? And there's a lot of questions about what the Carolina Hurricanes, what they might do this offseason, because you have Brandon Busty under contract. He'll be going into the first year of a 3-year deal. That only pays him $1.9 million. You also have Pyotr Kochetkov in the last year of his deal that pays him $2 million. Those are the two goalies you have under contract. Do you try and run it back with Freddie Anderson? Personally, I say no. I think the 1-year contract that the Carolina Hurricanes signed with Freddie Anderson this last offseason, in my opinion, that was, okay, we're running this back one more time. No matter what happens, this is it. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. Freddie as a whole in the playoffs, great. Got you 13 of the 16 wins. He was great. Again, as a whole. Some rough games in there, sure. But I have to anticipate that my opponents around me are getting better. So, okay, what do you do in terms of goal? Do you just run it with Bussy and Kochetkov? Or do you potentially go try and sign a Sergei Bobrovsky? Does the term that you're willing to offer Sergei Bobrovsky, who's an older goaltender, does that match up with what you are willing to pay depending on what he's searching for? Because if Sergei Bobrovsky wants a 5-year contract, I don't think Carolina makes that move. And honestly, I wouldn't make that move either, 5 years for Sergei Bobrovsky. Now, 2 years? Sure. Again, depending on what the price point is. Carolina Hurricanes have about $11 million in cap space as of right now. But you still have to anticipate what you're going to do regarding Alexander Nikishin, who's a restricted free agent. He's not eligible for an offer sheet by another team. Do you just have him on a 1-year tender? Do you sign him to a short bridge deal? Do you sign him to a long-term extension? Do you trade him? You also have players like Jordan Staal, Jordan Martinook, Jalen Chatfield, Shane Gostisbehere, who are all entering the final year of their contract. What are you going to do as your 7th defenseman? You signed Joel Nystrom to a 4-year contract extension, who's part of the Chicago Wolves, but he played 38 games this season. Wouldn't be surprised if they try and petition to have his name on the Stanley Cup. Wouldn't be shocked by that at all. So if the Carolina Hurricanes, do they want to bring him up as their 7th defenseman? Or he is, if I remember correctly, is exempt from waivers because of how young he is, that they can still send him down to Chicago and play in Chicago, even though he is on a 4-year contract that pays him just over $1.2 million a year. That kicks in starting July 1st. Is he your 7th defenseman? Or are you trading somebody and he's your number 6 defenseman, plays on the 3rd pair? Again, if you trade Alexander Nikishin, you have that. There's Charles Alexis Legault. And there's also Bradley Nadeau, which is floating around there too.
A lot of options.
A lot of options.
Yeah.
So as of right now, the Carolina Hurricanes have 14 forwards under contract next season. 14.
That's all.
14 forwards under contract next season. It's all 14 forwards that were on their playoff roster. Every single one of them. The 12 guys that skated normally, along with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, as well as Nick Delorier, who just signed a 2-year extension with the team. Which, by the way, baller move signing that on the stage. I don't know who thought of that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was Eric Tulsky, the general manager, someone else in their PR staff, whatever it might be, that said, hey, Nick Delorier, we're going to... Obviously, they agreed to terms before that moment.
But that was great.
But the fact that he came up and signed on stage, pretty baller.
That's epic.
It's pretty baller move.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some high-end prospects that are part of the Carolina Hurricanes right now. Bradley Nadeau is highly thought of in the sense of his ability to shoot, especially his one-timer. He has that shooting touch. Now, I want to remind Canes fans right now that are listening and watching right now is that as much as has been made of Bradley Nadeau, you just won a cup without him. He played, a handful of games this season? So you just won a cup without him. But again, you also have to anticipate as a team that when Jordan Martinook is no longer part of the franchise, when Jordan Staal is no longer part of the franchise, who are the next guys that are coming up? You do have young players like Sebastian Aho is in his late 20s, still in his prime. Seth Jarvis is just 24. Jackson Blake hasn't turned 23 yet. Logan Stankoven just turned 23 back in February. Andrei Svechnikov's 25, 26. You still have some guys that are still relatively young. But the question is, what's that next group? There's no spot right now for Bradley Nadeau. Do you use him as a trade piece to go get an asset that can build your team right now? Because again, as the roster as it's currently constructed, there's zero spot for Bradley Nadeau to play. So the questions are floating around here on our YouTube live chat, Victoria. What about goaltending?
Yeah.
What about, because there's the rumor floating around that Connor Hellebuyck of the Winnipeg Jets is looking for a change of scenery. Just won a gold medal with Team USA. He's won a Vezina trophy. He's won the Hart. He's been one of the best goalies in the NHL. Now, former teammate of Nikolai Ehlers, by the way.
Right.
Let's keep that in mind. And it's interesting when the Winnipeg Jets let him go, Nikolai Ehlers walking free agency, that team all of a sudden looked old and slow. Now, Connor Hellebuyck's having to try and be the best goalie in the league to try and keep that team afloat. And that team was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a bad team. Now, the question is, do you maybe make a play for Connor Hellebuyck? Okay, well, what are you willing to part with in order to get him? A lot of people are floating around the possibility of, well, what about Alexander Nikishin, Bradley Nadeau, first-round pick, second-round pick, or maybe even 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick to go get Connor Hellebuyck? I go, okay, like that, to me, that's intriguing. Imagine Connor Hellebuyck being paired with Brandon Bussey.
Yeah.
As a 1-2 combo. It's pretty awesome.
I'd feel pretty good about it.
I feel pretty good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing about the Carolina Hurricanes this past season. As a whole, as a collective, they were, as a whole, again, during the regular season, their goaltending was below average. Now, in the playoffs, different story, but during the course of the regular season, below average. If you look at, they didn't have anybody in the top 20 of scoring. They didn't have anybody in a finalist for any of the awards. That's Selke for best defensive forward, Norris Trophy for best defenseman, Hart Trophy, all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
Not even the Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year for Rob Brindamore, didn't win it.
Right.
Not only didn't win it, but wasn't even a finalist. Crazy. Eric Tulsky wasn't even a finalist for General Manager of the Year.
So crazy.
Whatever. But you always have to anticipate, okay, what's next? Kochetkov, again, like I said, only has 1 year left on his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nikishin, the Doe, first-round picks, if that's good enough to get to Hellebuyck, I could see the team pulling the trigger in that regard. I genuinely could. Now, the question is going forward is that what does your defensive core look like, not just this year, but going forward?
Right.
Because, like I said, Jalen Chatfield's in the last year of his contract. Shane Gostisbehere's in the last year of his contract. Now, you know Jacob Slavin's locked up. Sean Walker has 3 years left on his deal. Keandre Miller has 7 more years left on his deal. Long term, that's it as of right now. That's it. Again, Nikishin's a restricted free agent. Are you willing to sacrifice a player like him, who, as this roster is currently constructed, is still a third-pair defenseman, as it's presently constructed? Now, if you make a move for Connor Hellebuyck, do you also go make a move for another right-handed defenseman?
Yeah.
Or does that come internal with Charles Alexis Legault or Joel Nystrom? These are all things that Eric Tulsky has to figure out. But if we've seen, as we've seen from the Carolina Hurricanes, Tulsky ain't afraid to make the move.
No. And
He's
if there's
not.
one guy I can trust to make the good decision and the right decision, it's Eric Tulsky.
It is. And there's some young prospects that are highly considered. Again, Bradley Nadeau being one of them. We'll see how a player like Dominic Badinka, who's a defenseman, how he develops. Charles Alexis Legault, because he continued to develop. Felix Unger-Sorum, which, I don't know. I'm just very big on Felix Unger-Sorum. I think he's probably a middle six forward at best, but again, I'm still very high on him. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But in order to go get someone like that, like a Connor Hellebuyck in net, it's going to cost you. It's not like, oh, give him Kokiniemi, trade him and a first and a dough, and that should get you Connor Hellebuyck. No, ain't going to get you Connor Hellebuyck. Because if that's all it took, that deal would already happen. The deal already would have happened. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria Vodnecker producing the show. As always, on the other side, the deals that have already taken place in the NHL, especially the Brady Tkachuk move from Ottawa to Florida. How does that reverberate across the NHL, and how does that impact the Carolina Hurricanes? Julian McKenzie of The Athletic, next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It is the biggest stage in the world. the most popular sporting event on the planet. Billions of people, not hundreds of millions, billions of people. And FanDuel changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them, but not with FanDuel. If your guy, let's just say he's a striker that plays in the Saudi Pro League, he gets subbed off and they bring on a winger who plays in the Premier League, you get that guy instead of the guy who went back home maybe to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local. Come on. It's the biggest sporting event on earth. FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Carolina Complete Health. From neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealthnc.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Have you ever considered a career as a public power line worker? Line workers in public power communities keep the electricity flowing to families and businesses. As a public power line worker, you're part of a team that builds and maintains a locally owned and operated electric system. You can work close to home, grow your career, and support your local community by providing safe, reliable, and sustainable electricity. Learn more about public power and careers in public power at electricities.com.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Adopting a teen was more fulfilling and rewarding than we ever thought it would be. We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you were buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in the
Went
car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
Hockey's having a moment right now. Obviously, the Carolina Hurricanes just had their celebration with a parade, but when you win a cup, you have no time to rest. Teams are trading players for draft picks. You got the draft coming up this week. Free agency is next week. We're basically a week away from that. And to help us break it all down, Julian McKenzie of The Athletic joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold today. All right, Julian, let's start with something that you're very close to up there in Ottawa. The Senators trading their captain Their captain, Brady Tkachuk, 2 years left on his deal for a boatload of first-round picks, 3 first-round picks, and a second, and don't get a player in return. It's one of those things, it feels like, Julian, correct me if I'm wrong, that some people are shocked that it happened, but at the same time, people are like, we're expecting it to come.
So if you'll let me
absolutely
try to explain everything here.
Please do.
Because of the climate with American players in the NHL right now as to pertaining to all the geopolitics and how everything went down at the White House and the Olympics and even Four Nations, if you go a year before, there's been a lot of weirdness with those relations. And when you see American players play in Canada, I think a lot of fans wonder, is the climate such where players like an Austin Matthews or Brady Tkachuk might see what's going on and think, okay, you know what, I might want out of here and I might want to go back home to the States. I mean, particularly with Brady, we can't say anything about Austin. He's still at the Leafs. But with Brady, you can point to him celebrating at the White House and then returning to Canada and being met with a wash of questions from the media and fans kind of being on the fence about his allegiances politically, obviously just him with Donald Trump and the White House and all that. You have to remember, Donald Trump, once upon a time, said that he wanted Canada as the 51st state. And that's a very important background to all of this. When you consider the fact that Brady Tkachuk, as much as he liked playing in Ottawa, was the captain of this team, I have a hard time separating those things in terms of reasons as to why he would have wanted to go back to play in the United States, particularly on a team in Florida where his brother Matthew is there. And also, and I get a large part of that is because of the fact that he's won Stanley Cups and he's built up his own profile. He doesn't have the same pressures that follow him every day in terms of attention as Brady would, being the captain of a Canadian team, not even just a Canadian team, a team in the nation's capital of Canada. So as a roundabout way to answer your question, there are fans who did not want this day to come because Brady Tkachuk has meant so much to this team and so much to this city off of the fact that, there's the name Tkachuk, but also his play on the ice made him one of the premier power forwards in the game. But I do think there were a lot of people who looked at the last year and they looked at how he handled himself politically, and they also looked at how he handled himself with the team. There were people who wondered if he had checked out partway through the year or if he just only cared about being there for his American teammates and not providing that same level with the Ottawa Senators. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people, particularly online, have been upset, have been up in arms, and are coming up with nicknames for him like Trady Tkachuk and all that, right? Like it's a very nuanced discussion to be had about Brady. But ultimately, I think for the Ottawa Senators, particularly in the situation where the only thing they could do was trade him to Florida because Brady made it clear he wanted to go to Florida, they feel they made as good of a deal as they could make. I would have loved to have seen a player come back at the other end of this deal, but now it's on the Ottawa Senators to turn those draft picks into players.
Julian McKenzie of The Athletic joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold today. There's a lot of things to build off from what you just said. This is not the first time we've seen a captain of a Canadian team traded. We saw from Vancouver, we saw Quinn Hughes get traded to Minnesota early last season. And then now we're seeing Brady Tkachuk get moved here this offseason. There's a trickle-down effect with all these moves. And you mentioned Ottawa. They got the 3 first-round picks in a second. They didn't get a player in return, but you opened up over $8 million in cap space by doing so. You have a bunch of assets if you want to trade and get somebody. And also one of those picks you have is the 9th overall pick. Do we see – I know a lot of Carolina Hurricanes fans are interested in a guy like possibly Alex Tuch or even a Jason Robertson. Does Ottawa make a move for both of those guys, or at least one of them, in terms of an offer sheet or a sign and trade, something along those lines? Because Ottawa has a lot to work with.
I would be surprised if Alex Tuch would be – I mean, maybe that's a guy you think of in that situation. I think he's going to go to market and maybe find himself on another American team, just off of, what I've been hearing with that. But also I think for Jason Robertson, we talked about it on the podcast, my podcast with Chris Johnston. It seems as if Jason Robertson would not be interested in going to a team like the Ottawa Senators. So this also brings up a really interesting scenario where the Ottawa Senators have these picks and these assets that they could put together in a trade. And because of all of the different no moves that exist out there and no trades that exist out there and all that for certain players, it's like one part of the difficulty in all this is trying to make that trade. They have to look out for guys and be like, oh, do these guys even want to play in our market? Like that is a crazy hurdle that they're going to have to deal with. And guys like Casey Robertson might not see the Ottawa Senators as a viable destination, which is a shame because of what they did in the regular season. And it is a nice city to live in. And there is a good coach in place and there are good players, but it might not be as enticing as playing in a Dallas, for example, or playing in a Vegas or playing in Florida or even in a Carolina at this point, right? Carolina was one of the 4 teams that were mentioned for Brady Tkachuk, right? Like, I think for the Ottawa Senators now, maybe it's a guy like Mason McTavish. You try to see maybe if a guy like Jordan Kyrou might be interested in waiving his no trade. If you're thinking of restricted free agents, a guy you can tender an offer sheet to, does Pavel Dorofeyev make sense in Vegas? He's just coming off 2 30-goal seasons in Vegas. You have to find guys who fit what you need, but also want to play here. That is the challenge that presents itself for the Ottawa Senators.
All right, Carolina Hurricanes were in a very similar exact situation just last season with Mikko Rantanen. Hey, they brought him in. He didn't want to be here, so they flipped him for something. I think Julian McKenzie, The Athletic, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold. I think the thing that we're seeing is, I think we're in the early part, we're seeing this shift in players really controlling where they go, especially the guys that have the no movement clauses. When you hear a guy like Dylan Larkin, who's a captain of an original 6 team in Detroit, saying he wants out. You have Brady Tkachuk, a captain of a team, get traded. You've had a captain of a team, and like I mentioned, Quinn Hughes getting moved from Vancouver. And they have a guy like Connor Hellebuck up in Winnipeg who apparently wants out as well. Guys seems like they're using their power as much as they can to control where they go. Are we ever going to get back to the free agency that we once knew, or guys like Nikolai Ehlers or John Tavares, they finished out their contracts and then they went and signed somewhere else?
I guess it depends on the quality of players and what they want to do with their contracts and their situations. I do think, though, like, it is cool to see players recognize their situation and recognize the power that they do have and try to make something work for themselves. Because at the end of the day, teams could always say, hey, you know what? I don't need this player. Let me flip this player. Let me cut this guy. Like, teams for so long have had this power and they can wield them over the players. But to see it kind of flipped on the other way, like, I'm not necessarily upset at it. And even for a guy like Brady Tkachuk, like, at the end of the day, it is his decision to want to be in an environment that he feels a lot more comfortable being in, or whatever he wants to do with his life. That's on him. But I definitely sense that shift, and I think general managers around the league are definitely taking notice of that as well.
And the loyalty, like you mentioned, the loyalty goes both ways. A player signs let's say a 3-year contract with the team, and they get dealt, midway through that contract. Well, wait a second, where's the loyalty from the team? We agreed to a 3-year deal. So I know a lot of people will bash the players for wanting to control their situation, but in my eyes, like you said, the players are realizing that they have some power and they have the ability to control where they want to be. Some guys do. Not everyone really has that ability. And I don't blame them.
If you have a no-move clause or whatever, you absolutely have that power.
Yeah.
And again, like, I think it's considering the fact that, like, for years it's been the other way around. It's interesting and I know you're a basketball guy too. I think it's interesting to see the NHL enter this, like, player empowerment era that, like, the NBA went through, like, 15 years ago with, like, LeBron going to Miami and the big three that assembled themselves in Boston. And I mean, we're seeing some of the lingering effects of that now in the NBA. I'm curious to see how it's going to work out for these NHL players who continue who the ones who have that power anyway, who are going to look at their situations and be like, hey, you know what? Like, it's time for me to go somewhere else and make the most of it. And right now we're seeing this with American players. Like, what if like imagine, particularly Canadian fans, obviously I'm thinking about it from being north of the border. If we see more and more guys who are in Canadian markets, who are Canadians who do this, then I think you're going to see a lot of reverberation around that.
Final thing here for Julian McKenzie of The Athletic, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox in for Adam Gold this afternoon. One thing about these deals that we've seen so far, we talked about Alex Tuch's a free agent, the RFA, and Jason Robertson. There's Pavel Dorofeyev. You have a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky in net. what's the biggest or the next big domino to fall? Again, Dylan Larkin apparently wants out of Detroit. Connor Hellebuck wants out of Winnipeg. What's the next big domino to fall? Again, that reverberates across the entire NHL.
I mean, at this point, I'm sure you've seen some of the reports from my colleague, Pierre LeBrun. It seems as if there's some discussions going around with Zach Werenski with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wow. That's a name I'm very intrigued about with his situation and where he might end up, for example. I think for Jason Robertson and his situation in Dallas, this is a guy who's a restricted free agent. What's going to happen with him? Is Dallas going to be able to find the money to keep him, or is he going to be a guy who could be on the move on a trade? Like, I think right now, some of the bigger names that are out there, like with respect to the free agent market and guys like Alex Tuch, it's not going to get the same shine as it normally gets compared to some guys who may be out there on the trade market, some guys who are even out there as restricted free agents. Like Connor Bedard is up for a deal this year. Yeah. Like what deal is he going to get, right? Like Macklin Celebrini is up for an extension this year. What deal is he going to get, right? Like those guys I expect to stay in their markets, but that's still, I think, just as exciting as trying to figure out where Alex Tuch is going to go. I mean, Darren Radish was going to be the biggest defensive name on the free agent market, and he already got traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs and signed an extension. Mm-hmm. At this point now, it's which teams are going to make big moves ahead of the draft or after the draft that are going to make teams better, and how are teams who move on from these big-time players going to, figure out their teams after that. Those are some of the bigger dominoes I'm looking at.
Julian McKenzie, give him a follow at JKA McKenzie on the old X. Julian, also follow his work on The Athletic as well. Julian, thanks for your time. Really do appreciate it, my man.
Thanks, DC.
Again, Julian McKenzie, The Athletic. Big thanks to him for joining us today. Real quick before we get to the rewind, Victoria. To me, the onus is on the franchise to make it to where players want to play for your team. Whether it's facilities, culture, people, whatever it might be. You have to make it. The onus is on the franchise to make it where the players will say, this is the place I want to be. We're seeing it here in Carolina. There's only one person who really said he didn't want to be here, and that was Mika Rantanen. You know what happened? Okay, fine. Let him go. They brought in a player like Logan Stankoven. They brought in a player in Logan Stankoven. And after just a few months with the team, I'll commit here for 8 years. And obviously, fantastic at the playoffs. Same thing with Keandre Miller. Hey, we want to trade for you. We want to make sure that you want to be here with us. Keandre said, yes, I'll come play for you guys. Sign, trade, happens with the New York Rangers. It's on the franchises to make it to the point where players want to play for them. It's how it works. Plain and simple. All right, we got a few minutes left here, Victoria. Let's get to the rewind. The NBA draft is tonight. There are two players from the state of North Carolina that will be projected or are projected to be top 5 picks. Cam Boozer of Duke, projected to go 3rd overall. Caleb Wilson, North Carolina, projected to go 4th overall tonight. Brenden Whitted, our resident basketball guru, actually stopped by in studio, and I asked him, we had the conversation of who has the higher upside, Boozer, Wilson. Here's that conversation.
It's decent, but like you're right. Bad. It's not that and the handle, him consistently being able to get to a spot, pull up, and hit that. True, he is a better passer, I will say, than I had read all the high school stuff about him. He worked a high-low game.
Yeah, he's a great passer.
He's a really good. They did some stuff where they were kind of working some of their offense through him, and for a freshman to be that capable is amazing. Especially if you could talk about a 6'10" guy, he's going to be on a whole bunch of pick and roll sort of situations. You have him as a short roll passer, and so now you go ahead and cheat over if you want to off of that weak or strong, whatever you want to do. He's going to start making the right decisions. That would alleviate a lot of the. I always equate passing to basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Because if you know where the next guy is coming from, you know where you're passing. Mm-hmm. And so if you got an idea of that, then I think you at least know what's going on. I think some guys are just super athletic, but you start talking to them about basketball and they get lost. That's not Caleb. Caleb is as an athlete. As it relates to Boozer, my only issue with him is, I have two. One, I worry about his lateral quickness.
Yes.
Because he's going to be a guy that's going to, at some point, have to guard on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. Because so many people in the league can shoot. That is what it is.
Stretch fours are the thing.
Yeah. And then also, who's his comp who is just like, you know what? I'm so glad I would pick that guy as a top 3 pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes because he's good at a lot of things. He's not great at anything. And that's not a knock or anything like that. He's a well-rounded player.
He is.
Right?
I think so.
I think it's one of those two things. If you're really high on him, he's a well-rounded player. If you're not so much, then it's jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of just how you fall on him. Having a father that was in the NBA, that's still in the NBA. I didn't realize his dad's in Utah front office. I didn't realize that until pretty recently. Yeah. But having grown up essentially in the NBA, we see these NBA kids and they're like the second generation of NBA players, and they just seem to kind of get it a little bit more. They understand the professionalism, right? To your point about, we can fit him in a locker room. Well, if you had a father or a mother that's been telling you, hey, here's how you be a professional in basketball, I think you are a huge leg up in all this stuff.
Here's how you handle your money.
Here's how you handle your money.
Especially NIL in college. Guys that can handle their money in college can handle their money, at least my prediction, can handle their money in the NBA.
A lot better. And I don't know if you catch any of these podcasts, but it's been just a glutton of NBA players talking about how $5 million in anything is $6 million. And so now they're hurting a little bit on the pockets. And you're like, hey, bro, nah, that's the problem wasn't the money. The problem was you weren't prepared for it.
It's the person.
It's the and that's that stuff. But like the other part is Boozer was able to just manhandle guys. He was mauling guys in college. Talking about grown men now.
Oh yeah.
How's that going to work? How's your offense going to translate if you can't just move somebody? He was moving cats out of the way. Now he's a strong guy. His father was the same thing. And I'll say this. I was a little concerned about his father because when Carlos came out, I was like, is this going to translate? Because you're 6'8", and at that time that was a tweener, right? Like that, we don't even use that word anymore, really. But like at that time, he was a tweener. You're like 6'8". Well, he's not a small forward because he doesn't have that kind of quickness. But is he a banger? Like those 6'10", everybody was starting 6'10" guys and above at that 4. But to his credit, Boozer carved out a really nice career because he was still strong in the Knox. His son might be the exact same way.
I'm intrigued to see that's Brenden Whitted joining us here earlier on the Adam Gold Show. Here on the part of the Rewind, just real quick, we got a minute left here in the show. I'm intrigued to see what the long-term upside is for Cam Boozer. I think that he can make an impact in the NBA right away. But as Brenden just said, he's a well-rounded player. Don't know if he's particularly great at one thing, but he's a darn good basketball player. And he'll help anybody. I think the long-term upside is probably with Caleb Wilson. It's going to take him a bit to develop the outside shooting, and he needs to develop that. But, man, with both these guys, the compete is there with both these guys. Zero question about these guys will and want to win. Zero question about that. I have zero questions about their character, about what they're going to provide for their NBA clubs when they get drafted tonight. It's going to be awesome. Victoria, thank you. If you missed any of the Adam Gold Show, check it out on the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast. Also subscribe to 99.9 The Fans YouTube page. You can catch the full show in its entirety. I'm going to go heal this sickness. Till next time, I bid you adieu. Goodbye and good night.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.